Hey there, I am Walter Snackle Fox. Hey there. I am Walter Snackle Fox. We are live with Reverse 1999, one of my favorite gacha. They have a new patch out. It's a half anniversary patch, which is like saying that they like anniversaries so much they'll do them twice a year. That joke was from the Muppets Christmas movie. Anyway, the new event, the new story, Showdown in Chinatown, has one of the characters in a wheelchair, and I just got this character from Gacha.
It was a normal night. I paid
Here's
a
what
visit
the game
to the
looks like
legendary
normally when you
foundation,
get in.
even though I wasn't invited. Frankly, their security traps are quite uniquely designed.
And here she is. Let's see. Kind of a dragon theme. She goes into a special mode when she uses her ultimate. I haven't actually tried her out yet. I need to figure out what light cone to put on her, but if she just uses extraction, I can probably pull just about anything from an extraction character. And I'm saving up the rest for the actual wheelchair girl, which comes in a few weeks. The new music in this chapter is absolutely amazing, by the way. Kind of like some neo-Chinese pop, maybe like neo-retro. So let's watch the trailer first.
Cut. More. Hit harder. It has to feel real. Roll again.
What? Not again!
I've heard you're assisting us with Nightpiercer, our arcanist vigilante.
Yes, sir.
Our suspect is highly unpredictable. Much time.
Director Noah, I heard someone's been stalking you.
Probably just crazy fans. I'm used to it. Now get to makeup. This is an important scene.
About that fire 8 years ago. What happened?
Did you join my cast just to interrogate me?
First, the Nightpiercer case. Now this mass hysteria. If they're trying to bring a movie to life, then the last puzzle piece. The Shahua Parade.
Whoa! What's that?
That's Jin Liang, the Xiandao Beast.
So cool! Like a big cat!
Oh, like
Thanks.
What's your status, 9527?
No sign of the suspect.
the
Over.
jumping lion from other games.
Lily, 你慢到啲乜嘢啊？
Oh, she's back. Awesome.
Wow, what an awesome parade!
Eyes on suspect. Requesting backup.
强龙祭出，王有过往，斩杀凶旧，小劫不降。Look, it's the real 桥梁。
All right, that's what I want to see. Showdown in Chinatown, huh? We're gonna rock this. Alright, let's start. Fresh police story.
相传商周时期，天地间魑魅魍魉横行，有恶兽为祸人间，令神州萧条，生灵涂炭。
Oh, you're gonna have
竟
to
有
read
大
it to
贤
give me
方
a
相
chance
氏
to
受天子之托，
continue
向
on
12
some of
摄
these.
提神请愿，得巫武之力，降服恶兽，收为己用，更名为显道兽。
On the Emperor's
显道
order,
兽
okay.
得摄提神感召，化为驱逐世间诡异、护一方安宁的神兽，得万民敬奉。然至唐末时，战乱频起，为受显道兽之传承延续，最后的芳香氏在先去之前，将其分别托付给12镇子，其中。 显道兽强梁，壮虎衔蛇，凶悍无匹。得强梁之人，后以兽为名，改姓为梁，世代相承。
Nice.
时至今日，虽说世间已不再有妖魔肆虐，梁家也已不像过去那样风光，但家族上下都始终牢记祖训。 守礼克己，秉公持政，将为世间惩奸除恶视为己任。翻开家谱，每一个名字后面必定都是一个行得端、坐得正、响当当的良家子弟。然而，显道兽强梁却已有近100年未曾现身了。
to us for almost 100 years.
直到你。 我最引以为傲的女儿，
my daughter,
直到你
my
再一次
pride,
唤醒了强梁，
successfully summoned it after these long
你可
years.
知自己
You
肩负着
understand the
何
weight
种
of the
重望？
expectations you now carry. His hand rests on the girl's shoulders, its weight like that of the world.
我知道的，爸爸，你就相信我吧。
I understand. You can trust in me, Father. She has heard this story 1,000 times, and for years, this answer has been engraved in her mind, for it is the only answer she has ever been allowed to give.
I will not fail our family. I will fulfill my destiny as a worthy master of Xiangliang.
Vision of Arcane Affairs, LA.
Morning, guys. All right. Who wants to hit me with some good news and make my day a little easier?
The report on that summoning ritual's done. Seems like the destination was some farm out in the sticks.
Hey, did someone take the pendulum without signing it out? We've only got one to go around.
Everyone in the Division of Arcane Affairs is caught up in the chaos of their own work. Too busy to notice the officer who has just stepped in.
Let's try this another way. First 3 of you to give me some good news will earn yourselves a coffee. My treat.
Get ready, DA, because what I'm about to tell you next is gonna blow your mind.
Save me a cup. I gotta find our pendulum thief first.
Apparently, it doesn't take much to become the most popular person in the office. But before anyone can earn a steaming hot cup of joe, an angry shout interrupts them.
Hello? Excuse me? I'm still here. I'm a tax-paying citizen. I pay your salary, so why don't you stop gossiping and do your job?
真係上梁不正下梁歪。
Okay, so they didn't translate the last part. A crooked stick will have a crooked shadow. He shoots Poitier a glare before stomping his way out of the Division of Arcane Affairs, muttering curses under his breath. Division of Arcane Affairs, huh? Maybe that means they're dealing with Arcanus.
Him again? What's he complaining about this time?
Having brought the missing pendulum back to its place, the officer strides over and grabs a coffee. He shrugs.
Some nonsense about making a mistake while we were out searching for a dog in Chinatown.
A missing pooch? Since when are we the dog patrol?
I know, it's not our job. And then he got all huffy about us being brash and naive. And then I was right back to complaining about the incident last year.
You remember when that rookie saw bruises on a kid and kicked up a whole fuss about child abuse? Turned out it was just some traditional Chinese massage. After they got cleared of the charges, the kid's parents were fuming about it for weeks. But like, come on, it's literally a rookie mistake. He apologized and they forgave him. You'd think that'd be a problem solved, right? But this guy just wouldn't let it go. He's not even related.
Still, must have left a bad taste in his mouth, I guess. I just don't get why he's complaining about it to us. We don't find missing dogs. We find critters.
We find critters. They exchange a glance, and Portier lets out a sigh.
Well, at least most folks were friendly. Yeah, well, I was asking for good news. So how about something upbeat?
Sorry, I've got nothing of that particular flavor. Just the opposite.
Let me guess. Our vigilante struck again?
The vigilante night piercer bestows justice to the LA streets. The officer drops the morning paper in front of her. As her eyes land on the headline, her coffee suddenly smells bitter.
The vigilante night piercer bestows justice to LA streets. Ugh, so melodramatic. Who got hit this time?
Some rich varsity boys. They got in the news over some hazing incident that put a teammate into the ICU. But you know how it is. Strings are pulled and all the charges went away.
But get this. All of them were found penned up on the school's fencing this morning. And with those injuries, looks like they can kiss college football goodbye.
I hate to say it, but I gotta side with the vigilante on this one. Those kids were monsters. Still.
We're the police, and crime is crime. Doesn't matter how scummy the victims might be.
Irritated, Portier tosses the newspaper onto one of the many cluttered desks around her.
The arcane skill this guy cast, using those needles? It's like he's trying to imitate Detective CO7. What's up with that?
CO7? Like from the movie series? Don't act so surprised I've seen them. You know I love movies about Arcanum.
So, do we got anything?
Have you seen the look on Chief Eldon's face yet?
Portier looks over at the deputy chief's office, squinting as she tries to see through the slatted blinds.
Hot damn. I know that look. Wasn't the last time when he found out his daughter was dating some jackass crook? I know this night piercer guy's been tricky, but is it really that bad?
You don't know the half of it. The pressure's been building on him. Now, apparently the up-tops are sending us some support. Some cadet from the Vigils Bureau. I guess they've decided we're not working hard enough, or something.
Vigils? From the Foundation? Aren't they only responsible for the Arcanum crimes that'll cause serious consequences? I don't see how this night piercer guy is their kind of trouble. Besides, how's a Vigil even going to help us? They don't know the city like we do. And not even a full agent, just a cadet. Wait, did you say cadet?
Portier's head snaps back to the officer, her eyes wide. She just can't let that word slide by without notice.
You heard me. Apparently, they decided this is gonna be a thing. Send the cadets along to assist and test their chops. So now we're not just dog catchers, we're babysitters too.
Is this some kind of joke?
Your words, my lips.
The chief said it's a chance to develop a better working relationship between us and the Vigils. I think Brass just wants to cozy up with the St. Pavlo Foundation.
She downs the rest of her coffee and tosses the empty cup into the trash.
Yeah, that would explain the look on Eldon's face. So what? Anyone know when this cadet is due? Or hell, anything useful at all?
I heard tell it's some Chinese girl from a famous family of arcanists. She's got a mega powerful familiar, and that's why the Vigils recruited her.
Really? Just for her familiar? That can't be the only reason. Did she at least, score well on her tests?
Apparently, she didn't even take the test. She was still in training when she was picked. No field experience at all.
Ouch. Poitier tries to maintain her steely demeanor, but the frustration proves too much to contain.
So you mean this girl's a total liability? Some spoiled rich kid debutante looking for a chance to polish her resume?
The officer lets out a dry chuckle, but as her reply is about to leave her lips, her eyes flick behind Poitier and her tone changes.
That's not exactly what I said.
They wouldn't put just anyone in this position. The office falls silent as all eyes turn to the unfamiliar figure standing in the doorway.
Excuse me. I'm Vigil Cadet Liang Yue from the St. Pavlo Foundation, Vigil's Bureau, reporting for duty, ma'am. Could you please point me to Deputy Chief Alden?
He's in his office.
Poitier is the one to break the silence. She jerks her head toward the office in the corner as she speaks.
I see. Thank you.
She offers a slight nod and, under the scrutiny of every officer present, makes her way to the deputy chief's office. As soon as the door is shut, rumors break out like wildfire.
That's our princess? I've seen street rats bigger. I bet I could lift her up with one hand.
Don't forget her familiar. Though, I don't see it now. So she must be a summoner.
Lucky her. I wish my great-great-great-grandpa left me something like that.
But what's Eldon gonna do? No way he's letting this baby rat scurry into our investigation. I'll show her the door myself if he'll let me.
Guaranteed our Vigil-to-be is a spoil airheaded legacy pick. I can't imagine she's the type to follow orders.
Guys, we won't get any answers just sitting here.
Yeah, you're right. I need to get back to work. Josh is out on leave, so I've got to cover all his cases.
Hey, hold on. I've got a way to get the scoop on this girl.
Before Poitier can walk away, she grabs her sleeve and, with a knowing look on her face, indicates toward the deputy chief's office.
Liang Yue. Specially recommended by the Foundation's East
Look
Asia
at
branch
that
for
shit on
selection into the
Deputy
Vigil's
Chief
Bureau.
Eldon, man.
Top of class during your training. Selected to serve as the pilot for the Vigil Cadet Field Training Program with the LAPD Division for Arcane Affairs. It's an impressive resume.
Thank you, sir. Actually, it's not that...
Did I ask for an explanation?
Her voice falters for a moment.
Then don't give me one. You talk when I tell you to talk. You sit when I tell you to sit, and you do exactly as I say when I say. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
On the other side of the thin walls of the office, the officers exchange smirks as they listen into the conversation.
Classic Eldon. Reminds me of the good old days.
Good? The hell was so good about them? Think you've taken one too many smacks on the noggin. Still, she isn't as stuck up as I expected.
And she's probably a wuss. I figured she was gonna backtalk him. More like a meek little mouse than a rat.
They press their ears against the wall and fall silent once again.
I've been told you're here to assist us in catching the vigilante known as Nightpiercer. But one look at you tells me you don't have the chops. I'll bet you're greener than any rookie on my force. Now, Liang, answer me. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
On this beat, you're going to encounter arcane crime that is worse than anything you've seen in your training. Beyond your imagination. Are you prepared?
Yes, sir.
When it comes to dealing with arcanist criminals, you need wits and you need strength. One mistake and you could end up in a casket on that long flight back home. So I ask again, are you up to this challenge?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
No, you aren't.
He pulls a newspaper from a drawer and slams it on the desk.
Read it.
The arcanist scammer Johnny 3 Times has been apprehended. Using his arcane skill, Ominous Obeisance, he manipulated his victims to do anything he asked, specifically transferring all their money to him. In order to successfully cast his arcane skill, he requires his target to answer yes 3 times in 1 minute.
If you had been dealing with him, he'd already have you dumping your trust fund into his bank account. Or worse.
With all due respect, sir, That isn't a fair evaluation. I wouldn't have answered you that way if you were not my commanding officer.
Fair? There is no fair when it comes to arcanists. You've read the headlines about this guy and think you know what to expect? But what if he had abilities the news didn't know about? What if he could disguise himself? Or do you think that crooks just leave their resumes behind at the crime scene?
For a brief moment, she is at a loss for words.
No, sir.
This article was published a week ago. If you were as ready as you claimed, you should have known about this con man and his arcane skill. If you had any smarts, you'd have at least figured out I was probing you, but you didn't. I don't know what the Foundation and your vigils teachers taught you. Frankly, I don't care. Because you don't have the practical skills necessary to keep yourself alive on these streets. I will absolutely not put a kid like you on the Night Piercer case.
His cold voice carries through the wall. The officers outside exchange glances.
Cold and ruthless as a Minnesota winter. Eldon's never been a people person. Guess that's why they keep him stuck down here with us.
I don't know. I agree with him. But he's being pretty rough on her.
She's definitely too young for this. What you think? She gonna cry?
Look, if she can't handle the chief, then she can't handle the city.
Is that right? I seem to remember someone's eyes going red a few times on her first day.
What? Shut up! I didn't.
Shh. They fall silent again, waiting to hear what fate will befall the young vigil cadet.
End of discussion. If you want to call home to your daddy or the Foundation and get reassigned somewhere else, be my guest. But as long as you're in my department, you'll follow my rules. For now, I'll assign you some of the lighter cases. This is grunt work, kid. Try not to mess it up.
Hold on. I've got a bad feeling.
Portier's eyes widen, but it's too late to act.
Area Poitier will be your partner and field training instructor. She'll be happy to help you adjust. Isn't that right, Officer Poitier?
Portier can't help but mutter a curse under her breath.
Crap. Guess my day isn't getting any easier.
With a promotion, this is 100% a business ad. With a professional production team, limitless budget, and official sponsorship, our marketing prowess is unmatched. Your close companion is here. Close companions, everyone's best friends. The earliest of these companions can be traced back to the east, where the Zenji befriended powerful Jiandiao beasts. Together, they battled against evil and maintained peace and harmony. To this day, the Liang family still takes on the pride and the bond of their ancestors shared with Qianglang, the Xiandiao beast. The Xiandiao beasts protect the world. A story familiar to every child, often whispered by their mothers to soothe them to sleep. But it's not just a legend. Those companions also exist around us. Your gray-headed, chickadee poet, your imaginary wolf friend, your changeling childhood playmate. They've long been a part of our lives and become our most loyal friends. Level 50, are we going into combat on here? Part 2, Total Crisis.
Here we are. Get out. First case of the day. Anytime regular beat cops find a case related to Arcanum, they'll call it into dispatch. And then we get to come mop it up. This is what we call a basic Arcanum incident. The bread and butter of our work, kid. It's not often that we get anything urgent, but you've got to stay on your toes. But to be honest, I hope we don't get anything big today. Last thing I want is to take a rookie like you into a real emergency.
I hope so too.
That's yes, ma'am. You got me? You're probably thinking I'm trying to put you in your place, huh? That I'm just bossing you around. But get off your high horse, princess. Because as long as I'm your field instructor, you need to show some respect.
This is the pro tip her colleagues gave her before she left. If your trainee has powerful connections, you've got two choices. Either make sure they know who's in charge from day one, or spend the rest of your day sucking up to them. But it seems she and her colleagues were worrying over nothing.
But I don't have a horse, and I didn't think you were bossy. I'm honored to have you as my partner and field instructor. I look forward to learning under you.
Pretty humble coming from a big shot cadet, Poitier narrows her eyes only to be met with an earnest, slightly puzzled gaze.
Is there something wrong with what I said, ma'am?
Are you just that much of a pushover? Or is this all an act?
Pardon? I don't quite understand.
Nothing. Just keep close. You never know what can happen with these cases.
They take their last few steps up to the door and ring the bell. Heavy steps approach from within, and the door is flung open with a bang.
Ugh, finally! Do you know how long I've been waiting? Those monsters are at it again! Do something!
Such an enthusiastic welcome isn't exactly what the Vigil Cadet was expecting. She turns her head, only to see her instructor comfortably positioned a few feet behind her. Looks like she'll have to handle this one on her own.
Please remain calm, ma'am. We're here now, and we won't let them hurt you. Am I correct that you reported there are critters that have broken into your house? Could you describe them for us? Do you have an idea how many?
I don't know. Like a ton? A bunch? 2.5 buttloads? I didn't stick around to count them.
Even among the woman's chaotic shouting, useful information can be extracted. Leanne quickly formulates a plan.
So, there are many of them. In that case, I suggest we split up, ma'am. You could stay here and keep the lady safe, and send me to take the critters down. Given we're in a city, I suspect them to be tamed, and it's possible that someone may be controlling them. Once we've established their type, we may be able to deduce the incantation that's controlling them. Some incantations can be easily traced, such as the manipulation incantation or the shadow incantation.
Ah! Over there! There they are!
Please stay behind me, ma'am. We are... they?
She freezes mid-step, her eyes locked onto a corner of the yard. From the shadows, a row of plump creatures waddles into view.
This appears to be a Moncelo. A new breed of critter from the Miss New Bible Critter Rehabilitation Center, endorsed by the LSCC. They are medium to large in size and classed as non-aggressive. The Moncelo consumes base arcane materials and extracts the energy from them. They are intended to assist in the arcane production industry. They've been slated for worldwide distribution. But why are they here?
Well, what are you waiting for?
Kill them? Oh, ma'am, please don't worry. They will not attack.
But they're destroying my azaleas! And the stairs in my lawn! And they almost bit my sweetie's tail off! Ah!
Even the ever-composed Vigil Cadet is momentarily at a loss for words.
Your sweetie? I see, ma'am. I will do my best to get them up.
She decides to put off investigating Sweetie's identity for now. But before she can, a shrill voice interrupts her from outside the yard.
Hey! Don't you dare lay a finger on my precious munchies!
What? Can I help you, sir?
I knew it. This jerk is my next-door neighbor. He keeps all kinds of these ridiculous smelly critters around. I order you to throw him and all his disgusting little pets in jail.
Are you out of your mind? They're just some adorable munchalos. What kind of sicko
Some
would wanna hurt
adorable
them?
munchalos? Kind of sicko would you want to hurt him? The shouting match quickly escalates as a barrage of increasingly colorful insults fills the air. Leanne glances at her instructor. Poitier simply smirks and shrugs.
What did I tell you, huh?
Oh, we've got combat. Let's see. Can I stick our new officer in?
Always ready to go.
Yeah, that should be good. Reality. So let's stick Tooth Fairy on there
A
instead.
procession as orderly as a row of straight teeth.
And finding another one.
Just
Sure.
stand with the others.
Letter page.
Like this then?
Field check complete. Move carefully.
Look at the soup! I'm in the soup aisle, boys. No, cough, cough. Officer, this thick fog is making my head spin. It reeks from those stinky, clumsy oafs. See it. They're all scurried behind those crates. What are you waiting for? Don't move. Don't listen to this lunatic, officer. If it weren't for a little devil constantly provoking my children, they'd have never stepped into this filthy yard. Alright, sir, ma'am, you stop arguing. Step aside a little, I'll give you both a satisfactory answer. I need to move those crates first. Otherwise, those Munchlows will just keep circling around them. There was something I read in the New Babel Critter Training Guide. Munchlows become extremely drowsy after intense activity. Looks like it's time to put that to the test. Oop. Alright.
Please stay behind me. Please let me go.
This one should do.
Oh, she's got a dive kick? What?
Which one hurts? Is that a firefly or a gift in return for your tooth?
强梁既出，王有不为。
Alright. Oh boy. Shades of Andrew Nalla and that old.
Come back to me.
Oh. He got nuked? Alright, sir. Please bring your pets and come with us. The police station will handle further processing as needed. Oh my sweet babies! Daddy's taking you home right now.
That weren't even as tough as waking up an old factory man.
Finally, lunchtime. I'll grab the cheeseburger and an Americano. Large.
The front door to the diner is barely closed by the time Poitier has shouted out her order. Seems like this is just another part of a beat cop's routine.
So, some fluffy trespassers, an alchemy incident, a noise complaint for a werewolf infected, and a speeding ticket on an unregistered arcane vehicle. Honestly, busier than I expected. But it all went smoother than I expected, too. We've earned ourselves a decent lunch, I'd say. So what do you want, princess?
Lanning studies the menu on the wall, hesitating to answer.
What? Don't tell me our little vigil princess can't stomach a bit of fast food. Better get used to it, kid. We're on a tight schedule. There's no time for fancy dining.
Oh, it's not that. It's just... Are all the restaurants here so expensive? This is the first time I've been to LA, and it seems things cost more than I expected.
Poitier is taken aback.
What, you broke? You telling me the foundation, can't afford to pay you a decent wage?
Oh no. It's... my subsidy should be enough for daily necessities. It's only the... I was hoping to save some money, but it seems the prices here won't allow me to. Sorry, please forget it. I'll have a chicken sandwich. Thank you.
Okay.
Their orders placed, the two take a seat at Poitier's usual spot.
All right, question time, rookie. Because I think I've got the wrong impression. What I heard was that you were some pampered rich kid from a crazy old legendary family.
After a brief flicker of surprise, Liang's expression shifts. It's as if she expected to hear this question, or at least has grown accustomed to it.
It's true. The Liang family have a long history and many legendary ancestors, but that was a long time ago. Nowadays, we're not so different from any other ordinary family.
Sure. Ordinary. That's definitely what I think of when I see you. I also heard that you've got a familiar.
You mean Qiangliang?
Yeah, sure, that. Come on! It's some mysterious arcane creature from the Far East. Everyone in the DAA is curious about it, myself included. So, you gonna show me?
Liang looks a little troubled.
Now? I'm sorry, but I must refuse your request, Miss Poitier. With all due respect, the Qiangliang is a sacred being. It is deserving of great respect. It has a divine mission to expel diseases and evil beings, and has guarded the world through the ages. Maybe that just sounds like old legends, but it's the truth. We've recorded every battle we fought in our family chronicles, and we're only allowed to borrow its power when we're in the greatest of danger. Please understand that I can't just summon it simply to show it to others.
Okay. I'm not unreasonable, princess. If it's a sacred thing or whatever, I won't bother you over it.
From Liang's sincerity, it is clear that this isn't just an excuse. Poitier isn't annoyed by it, but it does seem a little bored by the overly serious response. An awkward silence falls at the table. Luckily, the waitress bakes it up with the arrival of their meals.
Anyway, I guess I should say you're doing a lot better than I thought today. And I don't just give out compliments, you got that? So take some pride in it, but don't get cocky either. This was all chump work. You haven't seen the ugly side of this job yet. This morning might have been a cakewalk, but this job can blindside you just like that. Never underestimate anything.
She takes a hefty bite out of her burger and launches into a monologue, the food still rolling around in her mouth. Liang simply looks blank. Poitier finally swallows.
Hey, you in there, princess?
I apologize, but in our family, we have a rule. 食不言，寝不语. It means we believe you shouldn't talk when eating or sleeping.
She always looks so sad and cute.
What? You're kidding. You're trying to say I'm being rude? Or wait, you're serious, aren't you?
Liang sits totally still, her expression unchanged.
What kind of stupid rule is that? Besides, why would anyone be talking while they're asleep? What, like you can't sleep talk? How do you even control that?
Poitier appears to be giving the question some genuine thought.
Sorry, maybe I didn't translate it right. It means keep quiet before sleep.
For a long moment, Poitier stares at her, dumbfounded. Then she slumps back in her seat.
The heck? So many rules. Damn, princess, you must have had a miserable childhood. Let me guess. Every day was courses and training, stuck inside, no books, no movies. Did they even let you watch Saturday morning cartoons? I've heard of kids like you. Sounds worse than jail to me.
A childhood like that is rough, kid. It's bad for your head. Bad for the job, too.
Liang furrows her brow a little. She can't follow her thought process at all.
I don't understand why you're upset, Miss Poitier. How is it bad for the job?
Did you check the list of incidents before we set off? There's a case we're going to after lunch. A director that received some kind of threat. She's shooting a film in Chinatown. Anyways, this director is an arcanist, and her movie is all about arcanum. So it's in our department. The point is, knowing's half the battle in this job. It'd be easier if you were a cinephile, or at least familiar with films. Maybe then you'd know a thing or two about her. She's famous for those Detective CO7 films. The first movies to really put a focus on arcanum and arcanists. Something about it, though. The detective in those films used a skill a lot like this night piercer crook. What's her name again? Something with an N? No.
Poitier strains to recall the name. She only saw it flash on screen for a moment when she watched the film way back then. In her focus, she fails to notice the flash of surprise on Liang's face.
Noah.
Yeah, that's it. Wait, so you...
Yes, I've watched her movies too.
I'll be damned. So was it a special reward for getting straight A's, or...
Calling all nearby units. Code 3. We have a hostage situation at City Hall.
At City Hall? What? The radio announcement cuts their get-to-know-you session short.
Suspect is a registered arcanist posing a threat to life. On-scene officers are requesting immediate arcanist support.
Alright.
City Hall. We're close by, aren't we?
Pack up. Lunchtime's over.
Whew. Alright. Quick break. Alright, we are back with more of Reverse 1999 Showdown in Chinatown. On to Chapter 3 of this epic story. Just checking out some little side chats here. It says, spot check. This isn't me nitpicking, Ricky. We all had to learn this by heart. Listen up, Rookie. Since I'm your instructor, I need to make sure you don't embarrass me out there. Did you review the basic operational guidelines for Los Angeles Arcane Affairs officers before taking this job? Yes. First, all police operations must remain within Los Angeles' administrative jurisdiction. Second, we must develop practical and cohesive plans, procedures, and strategies to reduce Arcanum-related crimes and behaviors, improve the quality of life for citizens, and maintain harmonious relations between humans and Arcanus. Administrative Procedure 31109. In civil disputes involving Arcanum, mediation should be prioritized to minimize the impact of Arcanum-related factors, provide citizens with professional guidance, and avoid actions that escalate conflicts. Oh great, model student response. Administrative Procedure 32005. In criminal cases involving Arcanum, Arcane officers in the vicinity should provide assistance whenever possible, minimizing harm to citizens. With that painfully by the book response, you might as well join Internal Affairs. Heard they love that kind of stuff. Let's keep it simple. Remember, big or small, whenever Arcanum is involved, it's up to us, the Arcane cops, to handle it. But don't worry too much. More often than not, the small stuff outweighs the big stuff. Understood, Instructor Poitier. Should I recite the rest? The rest? Nah, you sound like you got that covered. On the topic of injury and death compensation... Alright, Rookie, that's enough. She's cute. Order and chaos. I do think that Poitier's accent is a little bit weird for LA. Seems more like New York or something. But whatever, officers get transferred.
Go away!
Enraged man with a knife, and that is a nasty looking knife.
That was close. Where's our backup?
DAA, at your service.
What's the situation?
See for yourself.
The city hall, usually bustling with foot traffic, now stands eerily empty. The reason is immediately clear.
Don't come any closer. Stay back! Stay back!
Please! Don't kill me! I'm sorry! I really am! Please let me go.
Shut up! It's too late now. Say another word and you are dead! Stay back!
He swings the blade in his hand wildly, his voice a furious panic snarl. The crowd on the other side of the police barricade instinctively recoils, but the woman standing just 10 paces away doesn't move an inch.
Hey! Trust me, pal. You really don't want to do this.
Who's that? Doesn't look like one of ours.
Just some civvy. She was talking with the suspect before we got here.
That woman...
What, you know her? Look familiar or something?
No, just a thought. It's nothing.
She Nightpiercer? The woman glances toward the officers, seeming to notice their conversation.
People make mistakes. But some mistakes can't be undone. Don't put that blood on your hands, or it'll never wash off. Is hurting this guy worth all that pain and guilt? Sooner or later, he'll get what's coming to him for what he's done. I promise you that.
Her words seem to have an effect. The hostage taker hesitates, his face contorted in pain, his grip on the knife faltering.
But, I must.
He's distracted. Rookie, time for us to take him down.
Going in. Alright. Find that.
Please stay
Buff
behind me. Be
and
careful.
juice. Yeah.
Case closed. I'll be sure to write a report and put it on your table. Please stand down, sir.
Although almost half his size, Liang manages to pin the suspect to the ground. The other officers swarm in, snapping handcuffs around his wrists before he can put up another fight.
Suspect under control. I repeat, suspect under control. No further backup needed.
Looks like this case is wrapped up.
Nice moves. I was kinda hoping we get to see that familiar of yours, though.
A simple threat like this isn't worthy of Qiangliang. I have to reserve its assistance unless absolutely necessary.
So is this just another one of those rules? Or do you mean its help comes with a price tag?
Both.
Despite the curtness of her response, her eyes widen a little at Poitier's astuteness. Poitier scowls.
That it?
What do you mean?
I mean, so far, every time you talk about the job or your family rules, it's just the surface level stuff. How do you actually feel about any of this?
Liang looks genuinely confused.
How I feel? I don't understand why it would be necessary to mention that.
'Cause we're partners, kid. We've got to trust each other. How am I gonna let you watch my six if I don't even know how you tick?
But Liang still doesn't seem to get it.
I see. You're my partner and instructor during my assignment with the LAPD Division of Arcane Affairs. So, I'll do my best to learn from you and complete my work as assigned. I won't slow you down.
That's not what I'm... Forget it.
Huh?
Liang's tone all but says, "My personal feelings don't matter." Poitier gives up trying to argue with someone with such a stubborn, unreadable demeanor. She simply stares at her, quietly seething to herself. Luckily, before things can spiral further, the hostage cuts through the tension.
Oh, thank God you took down that lunatic. I'm really grateful, miss. But ain't you a bit young to be an arcane affairs officer? I think I've seen that uniform somewhere else before. You're a vigil, right?
Yes, sir. Wait.
Liang swallows the rest of her words as she stares at the hostage she just rescued, her expression suddenly wary.
I know you.
The Arcanist scammer Johnny 3 times has been apprehended. Using his arcane skill, Ominous Obeisance, he manipulated his victims to do anything he asked, specifically transferring all their money to him.
You're that scammer Johnny 3 times.
Oopsie. Guess that's the downside of getting your name in the papers.
What? Didn't we already book that guy? What's he doing here?
He got a sweetheart deal. A reduced sentence in exchange for revealing where he stashed all the dough he stole. And it was a shitload of money, too. Apparently from some big donors to the mayor's re-election campaign. Of course he demanded he be present for the unveiling of his stash, so they brought him here. That's when this loony attacked the police escort, took him hostage.
Hey, easy, officer. You've already got me. No need to be so rough with the cuffs.
Clam it, Johnny!
We should have just let that guy ice him.
May I ask, officer, do we know if the man trying to kill him was...
Yeah, he's the son of a victim. This bastard took his mom for all she was worth, and when she found out, boom, heart attack.
He shakes his head, heaving a weary sigh. Johnny 3 times snickers.
Like mother, like son. He was just as dumb as his doddering old mom. Worse even, because he didn't even catch wise to it. It's a concrete jungle, baby, and it follows jungle rules. Survival of the fittest. Crap for brains here, never had a chance. If it wasn't me, it would have been someone else. What a joke. Imagine killing over just because you lost a bit of cash. Then we've got this dumbass coming at me with even less of a brain. Think about it. If he killed me, how's he gonna get his money back?
Shut the fuck up, asshole.
She levels a punch to his gut, sending him crumbling to the ground, gasping for air.
Officer Poitier, what are you doing?
What? I'm teaching this douchebag a lesson.
But we can't do that. It's against the rules.
Liang steps between the two, blocking Poitier from doing any more.
Well, I guess the visuals are a cut above the trash when it comes to the DAA. Am I right?
Poitier takes a deep breath as she tries to rein in her frustration.
Let's get this straight, rookie. You don't tell me what to do. I should have known. You're just the worst kind of cop. Everything by the book, sticking to your high and mighty principles like you know what's best.
She lets out a frosty huff and turns away.
Huh?
杨月，你为什么要告诉老师？因为你们那么做是不对的。高明星，你不来就算了，为什么要让老师知道？
Then you're a rat. I didn't really care if you wanted to come along, but now you got and snitch on us.
我早说了，就不应该。
I told you we should never have invited her.
等等，别走。
Wait, don't go. The clamor of fearful voices cuts her off.
No! Somebody stop him!
Chapter 4, Exorcism.
Stay back! Help me!
The city hall has been plunged back into chaos. Johnny lets out a shriek, scrambling to get as far away as possible.
Get away!
He hurls the officer aside, blood drips down his fingers from the thumb he broke to slip his hand out of his cuffs. He moves with an inhuman strength, fighting off the approaching officers with ease.
Out of my way! I will kill you! I will kill you all!
Damn it, is this dude high or something?
No, I don't think this is drugs. It's an arcane skill. I sense some kind of evil spirit. I think I can stop him, ma'am.
The tension between them has been totally forgotten. The situation is urgent. Poitier gives a sharp nod.
Fine. Whatever it is, whatever you think you can do it.
I will. This is my duty.
Liang gives a firm nod before rushing toward the suspect.
Kill! I must kill this bastard! Who are you?
Please stay calm, sir. I have no weapon. I'm just here to make a phone call.
What? A phone call?
Yes. And you are going to make it.
Who are you dialing?
You'll soon find out. 强梁既出，王有不为。斩杀凶剑，
Rise, Xiangling,
消
swift
解
and
不
fierce.
息。
Banish all evil and cleanse this place. Recommended. Get to bring out my plant team.
A bold attempt.
Still figuring out Willow, kind of. As something is coming out of his body. Watch yourself, rookie. What is that? Seems to be some kind of non-corporeal specter. No, that's not right. I don't sense any ghostly aura around them. They must be ghost plagues. The hell are those? According to Eastern records, they're entities that bring calamity, disease, and malevolent curses. But this time, astonishingly, these ghost plagues have taken on human form. I don't know why yet, but something must have triggered their transformation. Officer Poitier, please step back. My duty, alongside Qiangling, has always been to drive out these ghost plagues. It's time to put an end to this disturbance. Great. That was poison, so we're all covered. Poison boost.
At your service.
Oh boy.
A bloody handprint on broken glass. Classic.
Barely doing anything to me. Alright, you've got the goods.
Heed my prayer.
You've got the
I call upon
goods.
you.
And
Get
combine
back and
those up.
stay back. Be gone. Light the bonfire, I remember. Heed my prayer, the same shadow, from the same light. In the name of darkness. You're not half bad.
Well, they got wrecked.
No! My head! I'm so sorry, Mama.
With one last garbled whisper, the man collapses. The officers around him remain frozen, still too wary to approach.
Should we cuff him?
Allow me. But I believe we should bring him to the hospital to be checked over immediately.
Think you can handle him? We got this con man to take care of.
She follows the order officer's gaze. Not long ago, Johnny 3 times was brimming with arrogance. Now he is a crumpled heap on the floor. A dark stain has formed on the crotch of his pants.
God, what a loser.
Poitier sneers, shaking her head as she turns away. She hesitates, then shifts her gaze to Liang.
So, you know what I'm about to say, right? Hmm?
Liang looks visibly confused, although more understandably this time.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is that what you want? For me to say it? Sorry. I felt bad for that guy, but there was nothing we could do for him while he was possessed. If it weren't for you, we might have shot him. Well done, Visual Liang. And please just forget what I said. I was out of line.
The moment her apology ends, she turns her head, unwilling to see Liang's reaction. But after a long pause, there is no response.
Say something.
She looks back to see Liang frozen in surprise.
Oh, right. It's okay. I didn't take it to heart.
Good. Who's there?
A stifled laugh hits their ears. Poitier springs back like a startled cat.
Sorry, I shouldn't eavesdrop. It's a bad habit. It's just... You remind me of my friends back in the old days.
Oh?
You're the lady that tried to help us soothe him. Thank you for the help. It could have turned out much worse if you hadn't been there. Thank you again.
That's too kind of you, young Vigil. I just did what anyone should. Really, it was you and your partner that were the real heroes.
You're too modest, ma'am. Actually, forgive me for asking. Haven't I seen your face before?
She studies the woman's face for quite some time before speaking his thought out loud. They haven't met in person, no. It was in some other way, but how? Where? She has barely begun forming the words when the woman gives her the answer.
Good to know that someone still remembers those old flicks, even after all these years.
The features on the face beneath the beret overlap with the face from Liang's memory. But the face she remembers lacks the maturity and composure of the woman before her. That face was brimming with youthful confidence, full of fire and energy. But one thing has remained the same, those bright shining eyes, like stars twinkling on silver screens and television sets.
Yes, from the movies. That's right. You are...
You are.
Oops, you got me. I'm casing. Or were you hoping I'd say Detective CO7?
She winks at the two dumbfounded officers.
A full report will take some time. You'll need to wait for now.
Thank you, Doctor.
Our perp had his ID with him. That saves us a lot of digging. Eric Wong, 43, runs a grocery store in Chinatown. Let's see. The only family member we've got is his wife, a Lillian Lau, who immigrated to the States 10 years ago. Both have no criminal record, totally clean. He's an arcanist, apparently, and a powerful one at that. But no reports of any prior misuse of arcanum. His car was found near the crime scene, all filled up with potatoes and carrots from the wholesalers. Either this was just a spur-of-the-moment wacko move, or some bizarre attempt at a tuber-based alibi.
Tuber-based alibi? Oh, man.
Anyway, we've contacted his wife, and she should be here soon. Maybe we'll get some more clues from her. Yo, Liang, you listening?
Oh, you're right.
The answer is obvious. No. Poitier takes a deep breath.
Earth calling Liang!
The sudden shout snaps Liang out of her daze.
Officer Poitier, we're in a hospital. We should keep quiet.
I would have, but that didn't seem likely to bring you back to Earth, Space Cadet. So what's got you lost in space now?
I'm just thinking.
About what?
About Miss Qixing.
Right. I guess you're really into those movies, huh? It's all good, boo.
I get the picture now. Our little CO7 fan sneaking into the cinema behind her parents' back. You know, you're beginning to almost seem human, Princess.
At first, I thought you might be an android. Like those Laplace bots they've got writing parking tickets for us.
Liang looks as if she wants to argue, but at the last moment she stops herself.
In fact, I do like Miss Qixing's CO7 movies very much. Her character means a lot to me.
Oh, is that the reason why you decided to be a visual?
Specifically, yes. It's the reason I decided my destiny was to be in the police. But back to the topic. I was thinking about Miss Qixing, but it wasn't because I like her or anything like that.
They had to put that line in. She shakes her head, her gaze sharpening, her brows furrowed slightly.
It's just that her being here made me think about Night Piercer. Miss Qixing has a similar arcane skill to the one he appears to use. She called it Silver Needle. She even performed it in her movies. Could that really just be a coincidence?
Huh?
The officer knits her brow as if she's been hit with a bad joke, but Liang, deep in thought, continues.
And what she said felt meaningful in some way.
One hour earlier.
It's a great pleasure to meet you, Miss Qixing. I grew up watching your films, but what are you doing here in LA? I mean, if it's okay to ask?
Sure, not a problem at all. I'm here to see an old friend.
Though she was once a star known across the nation, Qixing speaks warmly and without airs. It's just like she's chatting with an old friend.
Is it Miss Noah? I heard she's planning a new film.
Oh, so you heard the news? It's been a long time since I last saw her. You're right though, kid. I've got something I need to talk to her about.
Of course. That's great. Oh, and the Dushu Festival is coming soon. I hope you all go to the Shouhu Parade in Chinatown. It'll be so much fun to see you there.
Huh?
The quiet, reserved Liang has suddenly turned chatty. Portier stares at her. She's like an entirely different person.
Shouhu. Is it really that time of year again?
You don't like the parade?
Of course I do.
Man, they made her look really pretty. Qixing.
I like every bit of it. Watching people eat, perform, and come together to celebrate the end of the year, and to pray for peace and good luck in the next. I like the pure and simple wish that the Shouhu parade carries. But it always reminds me of the ending.
What ending?
Qixing falls silent, shaking her head, but no more explanation is needed. Liang's memories have come back to her.
You mean the ending of the last film in the CO7 series?
She must have guessed correctly. Qixing's eyes widen a little, then she gives a small nod.
Yes. I know lots of people like that ending. A reflection of reality, they say. Tragedy leaves people with a deeper impression than comedy. But as for me, I hated it. The good guys failed and the bad guys won? What kind of an ending is that? Maybe we don't get a say in how things work in reality. But in stories we can. We should. Reality itself is tragic enough already. Why should a movie remind us of how absurd things really are? What goes around comes around. That's what people want to see in the movies.
Her tone has turned unusually serious for a discussion about film, but these words strike a chord with Liang.
I agree with you. When I was little, I also didn't like how it ended. Maybe it's true that reality can't guarantee us true justice, but I still want to see justice being served. At least in fiction.
This response seemed to earn Qixing's approval.
I feel the same way. Pardon me for asking. That beast you summoned was something else. It reminded me of a certain creature. A legendary beast from the north of China. 強梁既出，網友不為。斬殺兇咎，梟截不詳。That must make you a descendant of the Liang family, right?
Something in Qixing's gaze makes Liang feel as though she's standing too close to an open flame. But even so, she answers truthfully.
Yes, I'm Liang Yue, from the Liang family of the 12 Zhens.
Liang Yue. Liang Yue. It's a good name, little Vigil. I'll keep it in mind.
Okay. That got a lot more serious right there at the end. Other side, same coin.
I read an article about the conflicts between Miss Qixing and the other two producers of the CO7 series. Before, I thought it was only rumors. But now, thinking over what she said, what if it's true? What am I saying? It's ridiculous.
Then stop pouting over it, Princess. We've got work to do.
The hallway of the Laplace Rehabilitation Center Cooperative Hospital is bustling with people. Lost in thought, Liang is jolted back to reality by a firm clap on the back.
You want to bet on how many people in LA have similar arcane skills? Come on, it's a total coincidence. You don't really think they're the same person, do you? That's nuts.
Why not?
I mean, it's the Detective CO7 we're talking about. Sure, she's been retired from acting for a while, but she's like super famous. If she was gonna go all kooky and start taking out crooks like she was the real CO7, why wait all this time? It's been years since her last movie, and we're only just dealing with this Nightpiercer guy now. Besides, it's not like it's a crazy, unusual type of arcane skill. Who knows? Maybe this Nightpiercer guy is a fan of Detective CO7's films too. Can't rule out anything yet.
Hey, you okay in there? Did I knock the wind out of you?
It's okay. I'm fine.
Liang shakes her head. Portier, still bewildered and perhaps feeling a little guilty, insists that she didn't mean to hit her so hard. Not that it matters. At least the sudden smack did the trick in pulling Liang out of her spiraling thoughts. Neither the test results nor the suspect's family have arrived yet. Liang makes her way to the vending machine at the far end of the hallway with the coins Portier dropped in her hand. As a half-hearted apology, and buys herself an orange juice. But that absurd thought, that ridiculous guest familiar, still refuses to leave her mind.
Forget it. Just like you said, it doesn't make any sense.
All attempts to push the thought from her mind are failing. That is, until a frantic voice cuts through the air.
But you're injured, ma'am. You can't just leave.
I'm totally fine. It's just a tiny smidge of damage. I can fix it myself.
You call a broken arm a smidge? Need to let us treat it immediately.
What's going on here?
The doctor recognizes her uniform immediately.
Are you a vigil? Could you help me stop this girl? She's trying to leave with a broken arm. She was in an accident. But since she's woken up, she's refused to let us examine anything. She might not be our normal kind of patient, but we're doctors. We can't let someone leave when they need immediate medical attention.
A vigil? I'm in a hurry now. I'm gonna miss my bus.
Okay. Beneath the girl's clothing, the exposed skin has a cold, metallic sheen. That must be what the doctor meant by not our normal kind of patient. Liang notices the emblem on her chest, marking her as an employee of the St. Pavlov Foundation. How odd that she'd have such a panicked reaction at the sight of a vigil.
There'll be another bus, but you only have one buddy. You should listen to the doctor. Sit down and wait until you're cleared to leave. Please show us your ID so that the doctor can give you treatment.
For a few stiff seconds, the girl's mechanical head freezes in place. Then in a movement almost too fast to follow, it snaps up.
Look! A hamster riding a stethoscope!
A hamster what?
The bizarreness of these words leaves Liang no choice but to glance in the pointed direction, only to confirm, of course, that there is no hamster nor stethoscope in sight.
Now! Hey, wait!
Oh, we're in a fight, huh?
Field check complete. Move carefully.
Take Liang out to take care of business again. Be mindful of passerby and avoid attacking patients. Wow, why are you chasing me? The hamster's over that way. I need you to cooperate. Stop right there. Oh, officer, watch out. Don't run through the corridor like that. You almost knocked me over. Sorry, ma'am. I need to be more careful. Keep my arms and legs in check, avoid hitting civilians, and stay clear of all this equipment.
Please stay behind me.
Oh look, here's another one.
Xiangna, please be careful.
You are not welcome here.
My responsibility.
We good?
I found
good.
a tooth. Perhaps it's a gift for the tooth fairies.
Watch out!
Sorry, I'm after a...
The hospital's narrow hallways are hardly suitable for a chase, and Liang quickly finds her path after blocked by a supply cart. By the time she's made it past, the mechanical-headed girl had disappeared. Her metal chameleon communication device, issued by the Divine of Arcane Affairs, gives off its distinctive chime.
Hey, Rookie, where did you go? Get back here. The medical report is ready, and Mr. Wong's family just arrived.
Understood. How's Mr. Wong doing?
There's a long pause on the other end of the line.
It's not pretty.
Mr. Wong is lying unconscious on the hospital bed, looking haggard. His breathing is labored and raspy, like wind rattling through a hollowed-out log.
How? What happened to him? He seems completely normal this morning.
Her legs go weak. Were it not for the man supporting her, she might have collapsed entirely.
Please relax, Miss Wong. We have to wait and see what the doctor says.
You again?
Poitier instantly recognizes him, one of the Divine Division of Arcane Affairs' least welcome and regular visitors.
Right. You're the local arcane private eye, aren't you, Joe? Are you commissioned by the victim?
What?
The man's eyes widen in surprise before shooting Poitier a venomous glare.
Unlike some taxi leeches out there, I actually help people in need. I don't charge a fee when it comes to my neighbors.
Sorry.
He clearly has no interest in arguing at a time like this. He lets out a cold snort and turns to the doctor with a questioning
Miss
look.
Liang has cleared the unknown arcane skill that was afflicting him. His physical condition is stable, but I fear there may be some long-term effects on his mind. He seems to be suffering from a severe thought and memory disorder. It would be best to keep him asleep.
Doctor, when will he wake up? Can I speak to him?
For now, we suggest against it. It may cause him additional distress to see someone familiar to him. We fear there might be memory loss.
What? What should I do now? With this mother gone, I can't take any more of this.
Madam.
The woman looks as though all the strength has been drained from her body as she slumps into a nearby chair. Liang opens her mouth to comfort her, but can't seem to find the right words. Joe's gaze sweeps past Poitier before settling on Liang.
So, Who's a little Chinese kid? Did the DAA give you a sidekick to do your job for you? Forget it, lah. Listen, if you are not going to do your best to help these people, then it's better you just stay out of my way.
Liang looks to Poitier with a questioning gaze. Poitier shakes her head and sighs, gesturing for her to come closer before handing over the hospital's diagnosis.
When they first brought him in, there were remnants of the arcanum riddled through his body. It might have gone a long way to proving he wasn't in control of himself, but I guess anything definitive has already faded away. The doctors couldn't isolate a cause. Worst case scenario, they might not believe us and have this poor guy shoved off to the funny farm.
Liang clenches her fists and looks toward the woman curled up in the hospital chair, quietly sobbing. She looks so small against the oversized seat. Finally, Liang steps forward and crouches beside the chair. After a brief hesitation, she reaches out and places a hand over the woman's. Zhou looks surprised.
Madam, please. You need to stay strong for your husband. They've brought in some of the best doctors from the Laplace Rehab Center. If there is anyone that can help him, it'll be them.
In a way, it is a promise with no real guarantee. A statement that could almost be considered a lie. But even lies have value when a person needs to hear them. The woman hastily wipes her tear-streaked face and lifts her head.
He said that he was going to buy produce from the wholesalers. But I couldn't reach him. And then the police called. My husband is a good man. Everyone knows that. He will never do something like this. Please, miss. You have to help us.
The woman grasps Liang's hand tightly in hers, her fingers trembling. Her hands are gentle yet rough, etched with years of hard work, the kind of hands earned through long days and nights of striving for a better life. In her palm, she can feel the woman's desperate, burning warmth. It is so hot, she feels it could scorch her. Liang takes a deep breath.
You can rely on us, ma'am. We'll find out the truth behind this. I promise you.
She gives the woman's hand a firm, reassuring squeeze.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You are our only hope. Please.
Sometimes a lie can become the truth. All it takes is someone willing to make it so. The door to the ward is shut behind them. After a moment of silence, Poitier tilts her head.
Rookie mistake, Princess. Never make a promise about something you don't get to decide on.
I'm sorry, Miss Poitier, but I only mean...
Hold it. I didn't say we weren't gonna do our best.
The words she was about to say no longer serve any purpose. Instead, Liang does something Poitier has never seen her do before. She smiles.
Thank you, ma'am.
Not so fast. We still need some solid evidence if we're gonna crack this case.
But where to begin? It seems like there are no obvious clues beyond what we were seeing. Mr. Wang had no enemies, and was well loved in his community. If that's the case, then it can't be a simple motivation. Still, something sticks out to me. When I ask about any recent events or happenings, it wasn't Mrs. Wang that answered. It was...
Poitier already knows where this is going.
Joe, our private eye with a chip on his shoulder against the DAA.
Yes. He mentioned that there have been strange things going on around LA's Chinatown recently. According to my notes, he mentioned there were children that suddenly became distant and unresponsive, young men that began showing signs of memory loss, and an otherwise healthy elder that rapidly developed signs of dementia, absent-mindedness, empty despondence towards family and friends, memory loss. It all sounds very familiar to Mr. Wang's condition. But no one one thought to bring the matter to the police. I also spoke with the nurses here. They said they've also noticed an increase in patients from Chinatown complaining of confusion and memory loss. I guess once again, no one thought it was serious enough for our attention.
Poitier's expression darkens.
Well, what you thinking, Cadet? Are all these cases related? If it's as widespread as you're making it out to be, we might be in over our heads.
Even so, I think we can't overlook it as a possibility. Arcane skills that directly affect the mind are rare, but they do exist. I've read of similar cases in the Vigil's archive. One of them, as I recall, had very similar symptoms to what we're seeing here.
Liang's brow furrows.
However, if there were some criminal intention behind all of these symptoms, what could it be? Or could it be an accident? Maybe a child with a powerful arcane skill who can't control it. Or some unregulated and dangerous arcane objects. We can't draw any conclusions without more evidence.
The two officers look troubled. Then, as if something has clicked in her mind, Poitier's face lights up.
Arcane objects. Isn't there a department in the Foundation that stores and records dangerous arcane materials?
Yes, at the headquarters of the Foundation. And its official name is... the Arcanum Containment Department.
ACD.
Ah, voilà. Je crois que je suis arrivée. C'est bien plus lumineux et spacieux que je ne l'avais imaginé.
It is much brighter and more spacious than I expected. One chapter? Wow, that was a while. No, that was like two. Take another break. Hey there, everyone. We are back with more Reverse 1999 Showdown in Chinatown. So far in the story, we have dealt with Jimmy, who was scamming people, and he got attacked while he was transferring some money after he had been released in order to return some of the stolen goods to people. And now we found out that he was attacked by somebody who was possessed by arcane skills, and that guy, after we stopped him, got put in the hospital, and now we're trying to figure out, hey, the arcane skill that was used on him seemed to cause a lot of damage to his body, and we're trying to figure out what happened. Secret warrant. Cold drinks.
Des armoires.
Alright, now we're in the Laplace
et encore des
archives for
armoires.
dangerous items. We're dealing with Matilda, who's apparently helped managing it. Cabinets, cabinets, and more cabinets.
Qui est responsable ici?
Who's in
J'avais
charge here?
l'impression que c'était un
I was
département
under the
important,
impression
non?
that this was
Où
an
est la
important
sécurité?
department. No. Where is the security? The ever-curious Matilda weaves her way through the rows of filing cabinets. She has read about this department in books detailing the Foundation's history.
Le département contient tous les objets connus qui ont produit des phénomènes dangereux ou mystérieux liés à l'arcane.
The department contains all known objects which have produced dangerous or mysterious arcane phenomena.
Certains disent même qu'il contient chaque mystère arcanique résolu et non résolu, jamais enregistré.
Some even say it contains every arcane mystery, solved and unsolved, that have ever been recorded.
Et bien sûr, le plus grand mystère de
Of
tous les
course,
temps,
the
la
biggest
tempête,
mystery of all
les défie
time,
toujours.
the storm, still defies them.
Comme c'est le cas pour nous tous,
As it does for
il
us
semble
all,
que chaque
it
département
seems,
sont désormais tournés
with
vers
every
l'étude
department turned to
la
the study of the
tempête.
storm,
Il y a peu
there
de
is
temps
little
pour ces
time to
énigmes
spare for
plus
these
triviales.
trivial puzzles. Her footsteps echo through the empty department, and the odd sense that she's being watched settles over her. Silence can be comforting, but it can also be unsettling, a breedy ground for loneliness, dredging up her long-buried unease.
Je me demande comment va maman. Madame Z a
I
dit qu'elle
wonder
la
how
surveillerait,
Mama is
mais
doing.
toujours pas de
Madame
nouvelles.
said she would keep it. Madame Z said she would keep an eye on her, but still no updates. She finds herself pausing, her gaze lowering to the ground, but only for a moment.
Non, ressaisis-toi, Mathilda Boaniche.
No,
C'est ta
bring
maman,
yourself
la
back
plus grande-mère
together,
de tous les
Matilda
temps. Qu'est-ce qui pourrait
Boonlett.
bien avoir mal tourné?
This is your mama, the greatest mother of all time. What could possibly have gone wrong? Look at that smile! With renewed confidence, she picks up her pace, her pale ponytail bouncing behind her.
Maintenant, sa fille la plus remarquable est en train d'accomplir une mission importante pour la Fondation. Contrairement à certains autres qui ont consacré leur temps précieux à des
Now her
vacances
most
au nom de
outstanding
réveiller
daughter
les
runs
jeux
an important
douloureux.
errand for the Foundation, unlike some others who have dedicated their valuable time to a vacation in the name of reviving the Uluru Games.
On espère tout de même qu'ils réussiront à rendre ces jeux aussi grandioses et sublimes qu'ils disent qu'il était dans le passé lointain, ou sinon...
Still, one must hope they will succeed in making the games as grand and sublime as they were in the distant past, or else... Just as she passes another set of shelves, something catches her eye.
Everything's fine here. Now on to the next row.
Oh?
Oh, this is one of my favorites.
What is it?
An excellent question, miss. See that serial number on it? AN003. A water sample from the Peilin River. Number 003. There are hundreds of thousands of samples, collections, and records here. But no matter who you ask, this particular one will always make their top list. Collected in a remote city in China. When the investigators arrived, they found that it had been isolated in time. all its inhabitants dressed and lived as if they were from the late Tang Dynasty. They were completely unaware of the state of the world beyond their lands, as if trapped in a time capsule from the forgotten past.
Oh.
The liquid inside the vial is clear and pristine, less like river water and more like a perfectly liquefied gemstone. Matilda can't help but stare in fascination.
But how is that possible? Did no one ever leave the city? Not even to travel or do business?
You're a clever one, miss. Yes, it seems the investigators were confused too. In the end, they realized that an arcane skill was affecting the Paylin River. Sadly, it seems the arcane energy was dissipating by the time they arrived, and they weren't able to figure out its cause. This is the only sample they were able to recover. Laplace has been begging for access to it. They're eager to unravel the mystery.
Wow, that is indeed a most intriguing claim.
It's not just a claim, miss. It's real. Wait, Miss Matilda Boaniche?
She's famous! The careless young staff member only now seems to have recognized Matilda's presence.
You've heard of me?
Yeah, of course. Who hasn't heard of the Boaniches and their star investigator daughter? Didn't you know that everyone's been talking about you since you joined the Foundation? Actually, my mother and I went to visit you. Oh, but I haven't introduced myself. Constance Scott. I'm a fellow graduate from SPDM. Of course, now, I'm just a record keeper here.
It doesn't seem like false modesty. Every top student of the SPDM was granted the honor of having their name inscribed in the school's Hall of Fame, but Matilda has never once come across the name Scott.
Actually, I've been looking for you as well, Miss Scott. Commissioner Pedra asked me to give this to you.
A letter? What's it about?
I couldn't say, but he had a most unpleasant look about him as he gave it to me. Then he asked me to review my report on the events in San Francisco. Are you alright? Your face has grown quite pale.
I'm fine. I just have a bad feeling I know what I'm about to read.
Having bid farewell to Matilda, Scott makes her way to a secluded room within the department, the letter clutched in her hand. She carefully closes the door behind her, and with one last glance around the room, opens the envelope. A single sheet of paper floats out from within, one carrying a heavy message.
The investigation has been concluded. Unfortunately, their findings were exactly as we feared. The suspect must be apprehended ASAP, and all efforts must be made to retrieve this arcane object before either cause further trouble. You must leave immediately. Her last reported sighting was in Chinatown, Los Angeles.
Oh boy. Showdown in Chinatown. Night Piercer?
Sorry, could you say that again? Ji Ma Wu? And that means paper horse dance? Okay, I got it.
喂，老細，今日仲有冇燒肉啊？賣晒啦！今日切條叉燒，整到半隻白切雞啊！
Wow. Daddy, look! There's a dragon on the floor! That's totally cool!
People speaking many languages meet and weave around each other on the crowded avenue. Liang wanders among them, stopping every now and then to take it all in. So, the previous story that they mentioned, I think, was connected to Junangzi, who was one of the True Limited gacha characters, and from like last Chinese New Year. And we got Anjonala as the True Limited gacha character this Chinese New Year, but they did a half anniversary thing, and hey, only a few months away, decided to connect these two stories together somehow and reintroduce Junangzi and another character very similar to her, this new police girl, Liang.
welcome to Chinatown. How do you like it?
Yes, it does give me a certain sense of nostalgia. Do you come here often, Miss Poitier?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, outside of work, it's been a while. 3 years or so.
Only once in 3 years? I don't think you can consider that often.
Poitier waves a hand, glancing down the lively streets on either side.
Yeah, well, it's a fun place for a day trip, sure. But things are different when you put on the uniform. Remember that private eye back at the hospital? Joe? You can get an impression about how people see the police around here from him.
You mean that the residents here don't cooperate with the Arcane Affairs Division?
Well, it's complicated. There's a lot of language and cultural barriers. Folks here just don't turn to the police to solve their problems. Even when they do, we feel like we have no idea where to start. The thing that surprised me the most was how arcanists of all kinds and humans live so closely together here. I guess it's the same in China, isn't it? I remember this one time, we had a call about a break-in. When we got there, it turned out the shopkeeper was a big white bird as tall as I am. And this other time, we're chasing down a lost puppet for some lame-ass puppeteer. Anyways, so I asked an old lady if she'd seen a doll nearby. You know what she said? Well, I don't know what she said, but she started going off about me being a Laowai. Now give me some credit. I might not speak Chinese, but I do know Laowai means foreigner. So excuse me? Like I'm American, baby. Born and raised.
Sorry.
Yang knows she should remain serious, but she can't help but be tickled by Poitier's indignation. Poitier shoots her a glare, but then heaves a quiet sigh.
That's not even the half of it. The thing is, I don't hate it here. Although I can't say I love Chinatown very much either. To be honest, most of us on the force haven't found a way to make inroads with the people here.
If that's the problem, why don't we try to understand things step by step? Maybe then we can start fresh? We're here anyway.
Liang turns back and examines the archway at the beginning of the road. They have already been in this other world for a while.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. If we're gonna get anywhere, then we'll have to start here. But we need to check another task off our list first.
They cross the street and turn into a narrow alleyway.
Should be right there, down the alley. Feeling excited, rookie? We're about to pay a visit to your favorite director, Noir.
Favorite? What? No. I just like the movies, that's all. I've got no specific feelings for the director.
Liang can't hold back her rebuttal, but under Poitier's teasing gaze, she stops herself.
Maybe just a little. I am curious about the mind of the director behind such great movies.
Y'all are, girl.
But this is strictly a police matter, so I will act with professional self-restraint. Actually, I've made a request with the Vigil's intelligence branch for a file on Director Noah and any related events. We should get it soon.
You've got a file on her already? Feels like you're going a bit overboard, rookie. It wasn't actually the director that called us. Her assistant did. Later on, Noir herself contacted us and said the so-called threat was just a misunderstanding. Normally, we'd leave it at that. There's too much real crime out there to bother with a case where the victim doesn't think anything happened. Still, according to dispatch, the assistant was real spooked over it. The operator got the feeling we should give it a second look, so they kept the file open. But look, this is just a follow-up and an excuse to come down here. So keep your mind on the real mission.
Got it, ma'am.
The scene from the Division of Arcane Affairs yesterday flashes across Liang's mind. After leaving the hospital, they immediately return to report their findings and highlight the dangers lurking behind Chinatown's strange events. But the higher-ups had a different take on things.
It's been reassigned to the local precinct.
Portier stands in the doorway to the deputy chief's office and shakes her head. Liang immediately catches the subtle shift in her expression.
What's wrong? What does that mean?
Nothing, kid. It's just most of the force aren't trained to deal with arcane crimes. Don't get me wrong. They're good, capable officers, but I'm worried. If this was any other case, I'd keep my mouth shut. But come on, this is clearly our department. This case has Arcanum all over it. I don't think they know what they're getting into.
For a brief moment, neither speaks. Then Liang's eyes light up.
Miss Poitier, I have an idea. What if we...
We prioritize Noir's case, which just happens to put us in Chinatown, so there's no harm in asking a few questions about our other investigation. I knew there was a little rebel in you, Liang. You like to bend the rules, just not break them. Am I right?
Not too often. Actually, I think we're obliged to take Miss Noah's case seriously, even if it wouldn't help us with the other case. Please wait a minute. It's my communication device.
Liang pulls out the communication device, often criticized by Foundation employees for being too bulky. Portier leans in to get a better look. Her chameleon comm, perched on her chest, stretches in its neck in curiosity.
SPF-1 portable contact device activated. You've received a new message. Downloading attachment. Download complete. Please check your mailbox.
Message? What's it about?
It's from the intelligence department. They've found her records. Miss Noah is registered with the Foundation. There might be something in her files that can provide us some clues.
She opens the pinned email and scans through the attached files. Her expression turns serious.
Wait, is this...
Seven, Rookie Actor's Guide. More set.
Whose is this? It's blocking the camera sightlines. Get it out of the way. When are we coming in? We've been waiting forever. I wish I brought a chair.
What's going on? Are they filming another movie? Do you see anyone famous?
At the end of the alley, in an old abandoned house filled with camera equipment, crew members and actors go about their business, drawing curious glances from passerby. One particular figure catches Liang's attention. Someone strangely familiar. Probably this Qixing.
Oh, is that today's lunch?
Okay.
Mind if I take a look? Not now? Fine.
That's that odd person I saw at the hospital. She works for the Foundation.
Who? You mean Camerahead over there? What do you mean by odd? You think she could be a fake?
No, she's a real Foundation member. I checked her information as well when I inquired about Miss Noah's file. Her name is Latham, an awakened arcanist, currently working in the Arcanum Containment Department.
Wait, what? She's in the ACD?
I wasn't given any access to her details, but based on our encounter, we should have no problem with her.
Good. Fine. I'm happy enough leaving the Awakened to their quirkiness.
She isn't their top priority. Liang knows that. She pushes aside that odd feeling for now, following Portier through the crowd and onto the set.
What do you mean she hasn't eaten yet? Director Noir's doctor was explicit that she's not allowed to skip any meals. Oh, hello, officers. How can I help you?
The well-dressed woman walks over to them.
We received a call from a Lin Wang. Did you make a report about some unknown person making physical threats and stalking Miss Noir?
Yes, that's right. I'm Lin. But...
Upon hearing their purpose, Lin hesitates, glancing uncertainly over at one end of the set.
We did it! Abby, you're here!
Cut.
At this single command, the actors freeze in place.
No. I'm afraid we'll have to roll that again.
I'm sorry, Director.
The young actor's body stiffens instantly. Based on where he's standing, it's clear that he is only a background character in the scene. But Noir, seated on her throne-like wheelchair, the overseer of everything, didn't miss his mistake no matter how minor it was.
Not at all. I just want more emotion this time. She's your true love, but you have been apart for a long time. Things are different now. She is. You are. Your reunion must be more complex. It isn't simply happiness you feel. You must mix that emotion with worry and guilt. She doesn't know anything about what happened to you. You can't help but worry that she will never be able to understand you. You wonder if she has got herself into any troubles. I know this is a short scene, but the audience must see a full range of emotions. You are capable of more, so be more. I know you attended drama school, so let's see that training shine. I know you can do it.
Yes, Director! I will try my best!
Simply being noticed by the famous director is enough to leave him visibly flustered. He immediately straightens up, shedding his nervous stance from moments before.
Good. Let's roll it again.
Excuse me, Director Noir.
Seizing this moment before the next take, the assistant swoops in and whispers something to Noir. Noir glances toward the two officers, her face betraying no emotion. It's impossible to tell what she's thinking.
For someone that famous, you think I'd have known she uses a wheelchair. How you feeling? Finally getting a chance to meet your favorite director. Thrilled?
Poitier nudges Liang with her elbow, tilting forward a little as she teases her. But when she sees Liang's face, she pauses.
What's with the long face, kid? Where'd all your excitement go? Oh. Is it about the message you got?
Yes. It's just something that's bothering me.
Before Liang can explain, the subject of their discussion rolls towards them in her wheelchair.
Thanks for coming, officers. But I believe I've already explained that this was all just a misunderstanding. As you can see, I'm in perfect health. Well, ignoring these two.
She pats her legs with a cheerful laugh. It seems the director has no qualms about her physical condition, though it's hardly the kind of joke anyone else can comfortably laugh along to.
But according to your assistant, there's been someone stalking you for months, and they've recently sent you a threatening letter. So what? That all just misunderstandings too?
I'm terribly sorry for inconveniencing you, officers. Lin is a very dedicated assistant, always looking out for me. She may have just overreacted to my situation. I don't mean to brag, but I've been in the limelight for long enough that I've seen my share of crazy fans. I'm used to it.
Sure, I get that. But about that letter you received, do you still have it?
She destroyed that, I bet. Noir lets out a wry chuckle and shakes her head.
I'm afraid I don't have it anymore. I received so many letters. Most of them friendly, some of them not so much friendly. I've made a name in this industry, and a few enemies too. If I paid any attention to the negativity, it only dragged me down.
Oh man, the doll's alive.
I tend not to keep the bad ones around. While I'm sure you would do a fine job keeping me safe, officers, I can't let myself worry over it. Besides, what are they going to do? Break my kneecaps? Frankly, the only thing I am worried about is that your presence is another distraction for my crew.
She casts a grateful and perhaps apologetic look around the set.
So, it's very much appreciated that you went out of your way to check in on me. But I have a movie to make. I can't disappoint my fans. Now, if you'll excuse me, we're burning daylight and I still have 4 more scenes to film. These Hollywood producers may have opened doors for me, but they also give me so many problems lately.
She smiles at the officers as if to signal the conversation's end.
Is this really just because of her movie?
Noir has already begun to turn her wheelchair away, but Liang stops her in her tracks.
Pardon me?
You seem to be refusing our assistance because you've decided this threat is only a harmless prank. You've decided that it's worth the risk to focus on your film. I don't mean to judge your decision. It may be understandable in some cases.
She moves closer, as lowering her voice as she leans in to deliver the next sentence in a hushed voice.
But if this threat is not just a prank, if it is serious...
Am I sensing disapproval?
Noir narrows her eyes a little and raises a hand to hold her approaching assistant. This is a good sign. Liang has earned the chance to talk for at least a little longer. She pushes aside her conflicting emotions and carries on in a voice only the two of them can hear.
There has been an increase in patients coming from Chinatown showing signs of mental instability. Their symptoms include confusion, amnesia, drowsiness, and volatile anger. None of the patients seem to have anything in common. No prior history, all without a clear cause. Does that sound familiar?
Sorry. Is this leading somewhere?
After a moment of thought, Noir shakes her head, her calm face carrying a perfectly measured hint of confusion.
A case. 8 years ago. He Rizhun, the scriptwriter for your first big hit, Detective CO7. She burned to death in her own house. However, the cleaners found a film reel in the debris, surprisingly intact after the fire.
Liang has been watching Noir's every expression. She doesn't miss the fleeting shift in her eyes at the mention of the film reel.
Strange, isn't it? Every other item was burnt to ash, yet this one 8mm reel was as good as new. The cleaners felt the same way. So, being curious, they played the reel. 3 of the 5 who watched it ended up in an asylum.
Hey there, Chell Splash.
Building,
we
and
are
the last,
playing Reverse
to the reports,
1999 tonight.
Became like an
It
empty
is
shell
a
of
story
person.
called... Okay. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. By the way, the girls are cute. The music is hot. This has been a good story so far. And I got her as my gotcha character, so I'm happy about that. Though I got her before stream.
And what's happening here?
I wanted to be able to
reminds you
use
of
her
that.
in stream if I had the chance, so I've used her a couple times already. But it's hard to do that if I don't get her early.
There are some commonalities between the cases. I can't ignore the possibility that they are related.
She's like a Chinese detective who uses a spiritual beast to destroy evil spirits and arcanum.
2 in particular stand out to me. The similar symptoms of
Very
both
similar
affected
to like Naoto
and you.
from Persona 4.
Hard to shake the thought that these are not coincidences.
Whispers spark among the crew as they eye this secret conversation.
What are the police still here for? Are we gonna get back to filming? Who knows? But it doesn't seem good.
These murmurs, of course, don't escape Noir's and Liang's notice. When she speaks again, Noir's tone is far more direct.
Is that an accusation?
No, not at all. I'm just hoping you might be able to shed some light on our case. After our initial investigation, we officially recorded it as an ominous Arcanum incident and determined that the cause was that 8mm film reel, which contained a film titled Reunion of the Three Swallows. To this day, however, the exact nature of the Arcanum hasn't been conclusively determined. We still aren't sure why it has this strange effect on people's minds, nor why the damage appears to be irreversible. Perhaps more importantly, we still don't know the origin behind the Arcanum on the reel. There are many possible causes that might create such an effect. One of the most common thought is from absorbing powerful emotions from an arcanist. The darkest emotions possess the strongest power. Anger, hatred, emotions so strong that they can outlast their bearer's death. Like a curse from beyond the grave, carrying out their last will as an obsession. And in such cases, these objects are sure to lead to disaster. I believe that this film is, undoubtedly, one such cursed item. If it is the case that this film was involved in these new incidents, then we must find out what obsession it's carrying out and find a countermeasure.
I assume you're already on the case.
Indeed, I am, Miss Noah. I've been studying the report on the original case, including some of the theories of the original investigator. One of the theories suggests that, despite your collaboration on the CO7 series, there were many points of conflict between you and Miss He. In fact, the reports mention you had a violent quarrel with her on the day of the fire. There was even a question about whether you might have been responsible for her death. So, as you can see, I have more than a strong reason to believe you are connected. And if this cursed reel is behind these recent incidents, I'm afraid that you may be the intended target of this curse.
Interesting. Post-lunch questioning.
Hot damn, rookie. Who could have guessed the famous director would be a part of her own real-life thriller? After talking to her, we still got nothing useful to go on. I can't read anything behind that smiling face of hers. But if your little theory has got any truth to it, then Noir is in real danger. So why not talk? Isn't she worried about her own life?
48 channels her frustration into her food, devouring most of the meal in the blink of an eye. As she swallows the last shrimp dumpling, she turns to look at Liang, who is busy chatting with the restaurant owner.
是吗？原来对面杂货
And the
店那家的
grocer's
女儿
daughter
也。
has also.
就是咯。
Yes,
最近
so
都不
many,
知道搞
many
什
things
么，
happening around the
好
neighborhood.
多街坊家里都
Crazy.
出了事。老卢家还算好
But the
嘞，
loser lucky.
他带
They
着
took
女儿
their
去
daughter
看
to a
中
good
医
local，
撞了
doctor.
药，
And
吃
she
了一
got
段
better.
时间，是对面街口麻
But the
烦，
other family
他
down the
妈
road
就
aren't
麻
so
烦
lucky.
了。
Their grandma
那个
was
阿婆
already so weak
原
from
本就身
arthritis,
体不好，
and now she's gone
忽然
crazy.
间又
She's
变得
probably
疯
gonna
疯
drive
癫
them
癫
crazy。too.
之前都有个
You know
靓妹
what?
来
Another
问
girl,
这
she
件
asked
事，
around about this too.
说什么事情不
Sigh.
太对
If I
路。
had to guess, it was because of those evil
我说呀
spirits.
就
Things
是
are never
临近
easy
年
before
关
the douche，
那
wool
些污
festival.
浊的东西都出。
听说还有人打听过这件事，
Other
那是什么
girl?
人
Do you know who she is?
他说自己是
She
什么
said she's
新
an
科
exorcist
学
from the
新科
neoscience
学什么鬼事务
neoscience
所的，
something
好
exorcism
像是
office,
个神
and she is
婆
new here in。
刚来
Chinatown.
到还给了我一张
She
卡
gave
片，
me a fancy
你的
business
怀
card,
麻
but
了
I。don't know where it is right
我
now.
不知道被我发。
原来如此。
I see.
多谢
Thank
你
you very much. As Liang returns to her seat, Poitier shoots at her a questioning look.
So, any progress?
I have some bad news. First, there are more victims than we expected. Second, we're not the only ones who've noticed. We need to hurry if we don't want this case to attract wider attention.
Why don't we start with the director then? She seems like our best lead.
Nope. Having cleared the dishes closest to her, Poitier pulls the char siu buns from the other side of the table.
I've got a hunch her case is connected with this one. Just like you said, there are too many coincidences to not dig deeper. That writer. What was it? Huh, Ridjuine? She's an arcanist, right? No surprise that she'd imbue that film with all of her final bits of hatred. I've seen a dozen cases like it. Cursed objects are weird as heck. It's definitely possible that it could have chased Noir all the way here.
But there isn't any evidence that corroborates the rivalry between Miss Noah and Miss He.
Hold on. Didn't you read that in a report by another visual? Maybe it's only hearsay, but that's something. Not only that, get this. I did some digging of my own. The night that cleaner leaped off that roof was the exact same night that Noir was in the car accident that left her legs paralyzed. It gets freakier. According to the reports, they happened within minutes of each other. And the building was less than a block away from the scene of the accident. How's that for evidence? We've got a saying in the DAA, Cadet. When it comes to Arcanum, there's no such thing as coincidences.
With this declaration, Poitier pops the last char siu bun into her mouth.
Whether coincidence or not, it isn't much to go on. We need evidence.
Of course. We can't just leap to accusations without proof. But when it comes to arcane crime, you've got to follow your hunches. So keep your nose to the ground.
So that's what she's doing. Poitier notices the dejection on Liang's face and sheepishly steps down her chopsticks.
I get you. This isn't just about evidence. You don't want to point the finger at someone you admire, but you've got to pursue this. Even if that means you have to separate the artist from their work.
Liang remains silent for a moment, picks up the chilled lemon soda from the table and takes a sip.
Actually, there is another reason that I'm not entirely convinced that Miss Noah, the film incident, and the events in Chinatown are connected. In fact, it's quite a substantial reason. If our records are correct, the cursed reel was found and contained by the Foundation 6 months after the initial incident, which means, unless something has gone horribly wrong, it should still be safely stored within the Arcanum Containment Department.
A sharp crash interrupts her words. The two turn around toward the sound.
Oops, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
A bespectacled girl fumbles with the napkin as she hurriedly tries to clean up the shattered dish she just knocked over. But her sneaking towards the two officers don't escape their attention, and the shiny emblem on her chest tells them exactly where she's from.
Well.
They exchange a puzzled look.
If I remember it right, you mentioned earlier that you saw someone from the Foundation acting suspicious yesterday.
Yes, like the lady over there. She also works for the ACD.
Guess we'll have a talk with her.
I agree, Miss Poitier.
They rise from the table and approach the girl. Alright.
Step into the fairy ring.
Oh boy, we're fighting our little girl Scott, Constance Scott. Something the matter, officers? You seem to have overheard our conversation. Was there anything in it you might know about? We welcome any leads we might have and even offer a reward for helping solve the case. No, I didn't hear anything. This has all just happened so suddenly. I have urgent business to attend to. Please understand, officers. There's no need to worry, ma'am. You seem a bit flustered. Here, why don't you come down and sit and have a nice chat? Yeah, I'm sure there's no way we can be of help. Yeah, I'm sure there's a way we can be of help to each other.
Oh look, here's another one.
Please stay behind me. Be careful. My responsibility.
I found a tooth. Perhaps it's a gift for the tooth fairies.
Under Liang and Poitier's relentless questioning, the suspicious Foundation member ultimately surrenders.
All right, I'll tell. But only to you, since you're a vigil, but she isn't, right? Sorry, I should really only disclose this info to other Foundation members.
She shoots a cautious look at Poitier. Poitier says nothing, simply raising her chin at Liang in approval. Liang follows the girl out into the empty alley. After verifying Liang's identity with her communication device, The girl gives a final glance up and down the alley before talking.
There's no one I would trust more than a vigil, Miss Liang. I'm here on a mission for the Foundation, and you might be able to help me with it.
September 1990. A female arcanist committed a serious assault and caused a number of casualties. She had appeared at an illegal gathering held by the Order of Enlightenment, a subordinate organization of Manes Vindictae. The Timekeeper encountered her and confirmed her identity. Anjo Nala, a Beyond Arcanist. Born sometime in the 19th century, she was sealed inside a wind-up toy in the year 1968. Since then, she has become a lethal weapon that must obey whoever possesses her toy. But back in 1985, I mean, the real 1985, that toy had been safely stored in an Arcanum containment department as a dangerous item.
Until it was stolen.
You were involved in that particular inventory check. There are 4 additional items that are now lost aside from number 066. The circumstances of the last storm, and that devastating spell threw our whole organization into chaos. However, there's no excuse for failing to uphold our department's most crucial mission. Fortunately, it appears that our break-in was committed by a single culprit.
Eternity?
I heard what you and your partner just said. It's about all the weird things that happen in Chinatown, right? It was my mission to catch Latham and retrieve all the arcane objects she'd stolen before they caused more damage. But I guess it's already too late for that.
The meaning behind those words is crystal clear. There is no room for Liang to feign ignorance.
Then you're saying that...
Yes, the cursed reel from the incident you mentioned was among the stolen items. And you said that you have some clue about its current whereabouts?
The cursed film reel, Reunion of the Three Swallows, is in Chinatown. The weight of this revelation sinks heavily in Liang's chest.
I was told to operate under strict secrecy. But at this point, the faster they're retrieved, the better. So, shall we work together?
Scott takes a notebook from her pocket and pulls out a photo tucked inside.
Our main suspect is Latham, an awakened arcanist.
That's Latham, okay. Liang can't help but look surprised when she recognizes the other girl in the photograph. But Scott seems to misinterpret her reaction.
It's hard for me to believe she'd do this. We were colleagues and close friends. I used to call her Loggerhead because she's the most forgetful person I know. At first, I refused to believe she could do such a thing. I still don't understand why. She's not the kind to be greedy. But the Vigils investigated the theft thoroughly. And the Vigils are not the kind to make mistakes. You've been here a few days already, right? Have you had any word about where she might be?
Scott's brow furrows, her expression torn between hope and fear. It's as if she wants confrontation while equally dreading to hear the truth.
Sorry, I haven't.
She shakes her head. Scott's expression visibly relaxes.
Oh, what a pity.
She keeps it a secret, huh? Another bathroom break. Reverse 1999, Showdown in Chinatown. We have mystery involving disease, amnesia, and violence spreading throughout Chinatown, a threat on a famed director, and a young Chinese detective hot on the case. Let's go. Being deserved.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Before the owner can even say goodbye, Liang has yanked Poitier out the front door.
What's the rush? I haven't even finished my noodles.
We can eat later, but we need to find Miss Latham now.
Wait, hold on. I'm all for chasing down a crook. But why do I get the feeling you didn't tell your Foundation friend about your run-in with Latham? What's up? Why are you keeping her in the dark?
I think that something isn't right about her. I've been to the A City before. To most, it might seem defenseless, but it's actually heavily protected by arcane rituals. According to Miss Scott, Latham acted alone, but there's nothing in her file that would suggest she's capable of that. Her arcane skill level is frankly far from remarkable. Even with insider knowledge, I don't believe it's possible she could have bypassed the security system and escaped on her own. Either Miss Latham has played the Foundation for fools, or she has more powerful accomplices. That leads me to another thing. This mission is not something a typical Foundation staff member would be assigned to. As Miss Scott claimed to be, there's something we don't know.
You're saying that girl with glasses lied to you?
Maybe. Or that she was being lied to herself.
Liang pulls her SPF-I contact device from beneath her cloak. After a few simple taps, she turns it for Poitier to see.
There was another thing I found while searching through Miss Latham's files. Or rather, what I didn't find. There were no warnings or notices on her employee records.
You mean she's not actually wanted?
No, I don't think so. Miss Scott said that their department wanted to solve this problem in secret. So I thought that might explain the reason Miss Latham's warrant wasn't on her file. However, when I tried to access more of their records to double-check my findings, I ran into a block on Miss Scott's records.
Access denied. You do not have permission to view this information. If you need access, please contact your supervisor.
A warning symbol flashes on the screen.
It could just be because I'm only a cadet. There are some files that I don't have access to yet. I contacted my supervisor, but I haven't heard anything back. I don't mean to distrust her, but I can't hold anyone above suspicion.
Poitier shifts her gaze from the device's screen back to Liang.
And what about me? You're putting a lot of trust in me, Liang. Is it really all right that you're telling me all this? A dangerous item stolen from the Foundation, and possibly an inside job at that. That's a scandal in the making. You could have just lied to me, make up some kind of story. It's not hard for a smart kid like you.
Liang gives Poitier a puzzled look.
Why would I? We're partners, Miss Poitier. Hiding information from you wouldn't be right. You told me that yourself, didn't you?
Me?
Yes. The first day we were on duty together, you said you need to know what makes me tick.
I did, didn't I?
Poitier seems a little dazed. Liang looks at her, sincerity behind her eyes.
I've reconsidered it, and you're right. During my training as a vigil, our instructor emphasized many times that trusting our partner was of vital importance. And you, Miss Poitier, have proven to be capable, decisive, and compassionate. I have developed a deep respect for your work, We share the same goal, to discover the truth behind the incidents happening in Chinatown. I can't think of any reason why I shouldn't cooperate with you.
All right. Enough. I'm blushing already.
48 cuts Liang off, almost flustered.
Damn, girl. I didn't expect my meek little mouse to turn into this.
This what?
Forget it. You've made your point. Now stop it.
48 waves a hand, signaling the conversation's end.
But you kinda missed my point. I'm worrying that the Foundation is gonna punish you for leaking classified information. Won't you get in trouble?
Though I may be a vigil of the Foundation, before that, I am the descendant of the Liang family. I'm obliged to do all that is necessary to fulfill my destiny. And given the circumstances, I think providing all relevant information that might assist us in catching the thief and retrieving the threatening arcane objects is worth bending the rules. Just a little.
Despite her conviction, Liang can't help but to hesitate a little.
Besides, I'm not under any orders to keep this a secret, so...
Cheeky. And you say you don't like bending the rules. I see you, boo. And I like it. Come on, let's work this out together. Partner.
Which one is my room again?
In the hotel room.
Right. I wrote it down. Let me see. There it is. I almost went too far again. Now the key card. Where did I put it? Oh, here.
Okay, she is kind of a goof.
Home sweet home. Oh, I'm exhausted.
The camera-headed girl freezes in place. 2 officers are standing in her sweet home.
Latham, right? It's been a while.
We have some questions for you. Please try to cooperate.
Liang steps forward and closes the door on her behalf. Oh. Beast mode. Poison. I'll turn this one to my beast team.
Show me what you got.
Probably overkill. Get out of my room, or I'm calling the police. The phone, it's right here in my hand. No need for that, I am the police. What? You're that vigil from the hospital. I was sure I had shaken off this person. So what do you want with me? I think you already know the answer to that.
Perfectly understood. Please, allow me. Stay back, I say.
Not for health, man.
Found it. Zoom in. The plan failed. And 3, 2, 1, down.
Although we come from different lands.
Alright, we just took out Latham. When an unsuspecting prey steps into a carefully laid trap, the outcome is already decided.
All right, fine. I'll tell you everything. It was me, okay? They said I stole those arcane objects and sold them for money. Well, maybe I did. Ouch!
As she speaks, she backs closer and closer to the wall behind her until she smacks her oversized head into the window ledge. A particular word in her statement makes Liang tilt her head.
What do you mean, maybe?
Because
Actually, I can't remember it. I can't find my memory film for that time, so really, I just don't know.
Memory film.
This so-called loggerhead girl, unawakened, isn't exactly a tough one. Within 30 minutes, she has spilled everything. Yet, despite this seemingly ideal result, neither of the officers looks pleased.
So, to summarize what you just said, Latham, you're an awakened piece of a movie projector, which forms a Latham loop. You were designed to play movies, not record them. And that's why you suffer from severe amnesia. You can only recall things that happened within the last 3 days. And after that, you'll forget almost everything. Do I got that right?
I guess so.
You guess so?
Poitier's sudden questioning startles the girl. She streaks further into the corner, wedging herself between the window and a nearby chair.
I can see why that friend of yours calls you Loggerhead. You deserve the name. What is going on here?
It's understandable. Awakened arcanists often suffer side effects related to their origins and materials, but still, this is quite unusual, to say the least. So, she has no memory of what happened 3 days ago, or even any of the cases she was involved in. So then, she's basically useless to our investigation. I can only imagine what a disaster it would be if you showed up in a Detective CO7 movie.
Hey, that's rude. How come I'm a disaster?
The girl, mustering what little courage she has left, waves her metal fists in defiance. But her feeble resistance has no effect on the officers. After sighing in unison, they exchange a glance.
What do you think?
I've made a request for Miss Latham's detailed records, but I don't think she's lying. Back at the hospital, the best lie she could come up with was a hamster riding a stethoscope. I kind of doubt she's a master manipulator.
Unraveling the mystery.
Let me sort things out. Miss Loggerhead, you said you could record and save your memories using a special type of film developed by Laplace, which means that even if you don't recall taking anything from the Arcanum Containment Department, your film should show whether you did or not. But the fact is, the films are gone. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I usually carry my most important memories with me and leave the others in my room. The Foundation staff checked the visitor log after the stuff was stolen. Turns out, I was the only one who visited the office that day. So they sent people to my room and checked all my film, but they didn't find anything. Then they said they already had other evidence, so...
Loggerhead's voice trails off and someone else completes her words.
So they just declared Loggerhead guilty. But that doesn't make any sense to me. Something must be wrong.
The Foundation employee who claimed to be hunting Loggerhead received a call from Liang just 10 minutes ago. But the moment she stepped into the clue-filled hotel room and laid eyes on Loggerhead, she blurted out, "You're still here?" And just like that, the final piece of Loggerhead's testimony was confirmed. The two girls sitting on the bed lower their heads in silent understanding.
So, when you found Miss Latham, you bought her a train ticket instead of putting her under arrest.
I know I've gone against orders, but I'm sure Loggerhead didn't do this. She's my friend. I can't just arrest her and have the Foundation lock her up. I'm sorry for keeping all of this from you, but you're a vigil. I had to be careful. So, if it's not crossing a line, Miss Liang, Miss Potier, can I ask you to keep this between us? You can report it after we find out who's really done this.
Could you, please?
Scott's eye gleams pleadingly, and Loggerhead's lens gleams as she stares at the officers in expectation. The pitiful expressions on both their faces would tug at anyone's heartstrings. Liang almost feels as though she's tormenting some kind of helpless creature. But this unofficial interrogation isn't over yet.
We'll talk about that once we figure out what the hell's going on. Back to the case. You said she gave you a train ticket. What are you still doing here?
Loggerhead lets out an awkward laugh.
Actually, while I was on my way to the train station, a car on the other side of the street lost control and hit my cab. Thankfully, it crashed into the passenger seat where I was sitting. My metal's much stronger than human flesh.
Liang searches her memory for a moment.
That's right. There was a car accident yesterday morning. The driver suffered some kind of unknown mental abnormality while he was on the road. Maybe he's fallen victim too. What happened next?
I was sent to the hospital, and you showed up. I thought you were gonna arrest me, so I ran as fast as I could. I threw away my cell phone and contact device as soon as I left the Foundation. Scott said they could use them to track me down. I couldn't get a hold of anyone and didn't know what to do. And even though I don't know for sure, I really don't think I'm guilty. It's super weird to be on the run when you feel like you're innocent. So I went back to Chinatown to ask Director Noir for help. She was the only one I could contact directly.
A crucial
Noir.
name.
Could you tell me how you got to know her?
Of course. Let me see. Walk of Fame. Walk of Fame. Okay. Now I just need to turn left. Wait, which way is left again? It changes every time I turn, right? Gosh, how the heck do people read maps?
Are you alright? It seems you could use some help.
Noir stopped to help me. She was really interested in my head, so we had a little chat, and I found out she was a director. She offered to take me to the Walk of Fame. We talked a lot about movies on our way there. Then I told her I was traveling alone, so she invited me to join her movie shoot in Chinatown. How could I say no? I mean, she's a famous director. There's no way I'd miss a chance like that.
Interesting. That was the same day that odd things started happening in Chinatown.
The head was bobbing excitedly, comes to a hesitant stop.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Did anything strange happen that day?
Loggerhead's lens flickers. It seems something has surfaced in her mind.
Let me see. I did find a strange film reel when I was unpacking that night.
A strange film reel?
Wait, could that be...
All three of the others immediately perk at the mention of those words. But perhaps due to the limited field of vision of her camera lens, Loggerhead remains oblivious to their gazes. Instead, she pulls her backpack towards her, muttering to herself as she leisurely rummages through it.
Yeah, a strange film reel. I've gotten into the habit of labeling my films like check every day or check from time to time, so that I know what to watch to keep important things in my mind. I was gonna do a review that night, but when I looked through my film, there was a roll without a label on it. It couldn't have been mine because it was made of a different material. I was so curious about it, you know? So I played it.
What did you see?
It was a movie, I guess, but it was pretty short. More like a demo or a trailer or something. But it was so weird. Like a jumble of pictures and sounds. It didn't make any sense to me. I don't know, maybe it was a prank or something?
She halts her search and looks up blankly.
What's wrong?
The film, it's gone.
What?
Loggerhead shrinks nervously once again.
I can't find it. It was right here in my bag.
Give it to me.
In one swift motion, Poitier smashes Loggerhead's backpack and upends its contents onto
Damn,
the bed.
First time I've seen a bag messier than my sister's. Do you ever organize your stuff?
Like a whirlwind, Poitier tears through Loggerhead's things, ignoring her shrieks of, "I just forgot to throw that away, and I still need that," as she ransacks not only the backpack but the entire room. Finally, she has no choice but to accept a rather disheartening conclusion.
Nope, nothing. You didn't take it out and lose it somewhere, did you? Mistake it for a tip for your pizza guy or something.
I forget things, but I'm not an idiot. I didn't lose it. Check my film if you want to prove it. It just disappeared into thin air.
But your film only records what you saw. Someone might have taken it when you weren't looking. Does anyone else know about this film reel? Did you have any visitors or notice anything suspicious after you played it?
Suspicious? I don't think so. At least I didn't see anything. The only person who visited me afterwards was Scott. She came to tell me I was wanted by the Foundation. Oh, but actually, I wasn't alone when I played it. Noir was with me. She said she was interested in my memories, so she came and...
The others stare at Loggerhead as if she's grown a second head. She nervously swallows the rest of her sentence.
What's wrong?
So, it was Noir who took the film?
What are you?
A solid punch sends the man flying. At least that's what was supposed to happen.
Sorry, Director. I'll try again.
Don't bother. Clearly, your martial arts skills are severely lacking. I don't want you to hit your head when you fall to the ground. Go. Take a break.
Ouch. The disheveled actor still wants to argue his case, but everyone knows that once the director makes a decision, she won't change her mind easily. In the end, he simply sighs and steps aside.
That was the last one, Director. There are far fewer stunt performers with martial arts experience here than in Hong Kong. Master Lau and his men will arrive in a few days. Perhaps we could shoot the scene then?
Nicholas is on a tight schedule. I doubt he'll change it. Let me see what I can do.
A single sentence is far from enough to capture the many difficulties the famous Hong Kong director has faced since working overseas. Leaning back in her wheelchair, she discreetly scans the set, searching for the missing piece of the puzzle.
Her again?
Lin follows Noir's gaze.
Oh, that young officer?
What do you want? Listen, I don't know what you are trying to do, but can't you just leave us alone? Sorry, ma'am. This is a closed set. If you don't have a warrant, please leave.
Guys, relax. Liang isn't as mean as she seems.
Clearly, the arrival of a certain vigil cadet is unwelcome. So much so that even Loggerhead is being eyed with suspicion. But Liang ignores them. She's locked onto her target the moment she scanned the set and is already striding toward her. She stops a few paces in front of the person in question.
I must say, I didn't expect to see you so soon, officer. Is there something else you wanted to ask me? I think I made myself perfectly clear this morning. I know nothing about your case.
No, madam. I'm here to help.
Help with what?
Miss Latham mentioned that you are looking for a qualified stunt performer for your movie. I'd like to help with that, if you don't mind, as an apology.
Interesting. Noir blinks.
You surprised me again.
Okay, so that's how this comes in. Hopefully we can go until 12 and then read. Hey, Calife.
You mean to say that you're a stunt woman? Seriously?
Noir chuckles and shakes her head before turning her wheelchair in disinterest.
Thank you, officer. Well, judging by your uniform, you're from the Vigils Bureau, aren't you? I appreciate the gesture. It's true that we may be able to attract more viewers if we have a vigil on the cast list. But filmmaking isn't as easy as you think. Maybe I can fit you in next time.
Rejection. But refusal is not an option in this operation.
Especially yours. I'm actually a big fan. And I saw the performance just now. Not to be rude or anything, but I think I can handle the stunt. For the betterment of the movie. That's what Miss Latham said you were after. Is that right?
Her words stir up a storm.
What? Does she even know what she's talking about?
That's some pretty big talk.
Even Noir can't help but let out an amused chuckle at Liang's words. Even so, her wheelchair comes to a stop.
That's true. But are you certain that you'll make my movie better?
Yes.
To be honest, no. Liang knows that filmmaking is far more complex than it appears. Her answer is far from the truth. But if she's going to uncover the truth, she has to act the part.
Interesting. Since you insist, let's give it a try. Show me what a vigil can do.
It isn't a particularly clever trick, but fortunately, Latham's words weren't false. Noir would never turn down an opportunity to improve her films. Alright, here's our stunt, and get to go back to Liang.
Filter complete. Move carefully.
Ha ha ha! Follow the director's instructions. Do not attack the enemy for the first few rounds. Listen up. In the first scene, you're a martial arts apprentice in Chinatown, cornered in an alley by a group of thugs. You're an outsider here, trying to avoid trouble, so all you can do is curl up and take the beating. Are you ready, Vigil? Yes. Action! Eat this! Don't you know what hand over the money means? You want to suffer? Go break her legs. Hey, you got it, boss. Ugh.
Please stay behind me. Oh look, here's another one. We're not afraid of you. My shells.
Did that break it? Let's see. She have a counter?
This cross should do.
Is that a firefly or tooth fairy? A traditional treatment.
My shells.
Please lend me your power.
Which one hurts?
Be
This
careful.
one or this one? Come back to me.
Cut. Good, good. Second scene. You've had enough. You're humiliated and furious, ready to fight back. Get it together. No more looking weak. Show me your anger. Now, you can get up from the ground, not to prove yourself, but to tell them that whatever you've lost, you're taking it back. Action! Boss, she's standing up again. What are you afraid of? She's just a crippled one. Huh. Right, what does she have? Shared shells, close-up shot, and Guardian's Blessing. Alright, we'll hit him with the big stuff. Mass attack. Mass attack. Blessing again. And your second nuke. Alright, I bet that's doing it. She's gonna kill someone. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Cut!
Case closed. I'll be sure to write a report and put it on your table.
Excellent. Bravo! Exactly as you claimed. No, even better. Really spectacular work. A perfect take.
I'm flattered, Director.
Noir's eyes glisten as she watches the playback of the shot. Meanwhile, after nearly 20 failed takes, Liang returns to the dressing room, her costume drenched in sweat. When she emerges back in her Vigil's uniform, a bottle of water is handed to her.
Here. It's not open.
Thank you.
Didn't expect you to pull it off. That was a dangerous stunt. Scared the crap out of me. All right. So you did a good job one time. But let me tell you, it takes a lot more than that to win recognition in this industry.
You've really got to hone in on the dramatic scenes if you want to move out of the stuntwoman box. You're good looking, and you took that scene pretty seriously. You interested in doing that? If you are, then I'll suggest you be a little more humble. There's always room for improvement, you know?
You're right. I'm sorry, but I'm not even a stunt woman, let alone an actress. This is all just a bit of fun for me.
Is that so? Oh, what a shame.
The queen of the set rolls over in her chariot, stopping beside Leon.
I appreciate your sincerity, but I'd be even more appreciative if you were willing to do a few more scenes.
If it's just for a short time, I'd like to help in any way I can.
Fantastic! Follow me. We can have dinner and look at the script together. I have a few changes I want to make to the story. Trust me, the audience will be more than happy to hear a line or two from you.
Lines? Okay.
Things seem to be taking an unexpected turn. I didn't expect her to be so young when I got into this.
That's all. Well, have you memorized them?
Yes, every word. But aren't there too many?
The blank spaces in the script spread out on the table are filled with Noir's flamboyant pen strokes.
She's got a point, Director. The investors might not approve, though. They already told us not to change the script like we did in Hong Kong.
Relax, we've done this before. They never read the script anyway. Besides, I'm not exactly asking for a monologue here. It's only 3 lines, just what's needed to make the character complete.
Lynn gives a helpless sigh. She knows all too well how pointless it is to try and change director Noir's mind.
I'll keep practicing until filming starts.
I look forward to your performance.
By the way, I saw some deity dolls and sedan chairs on the set. The Dushu Festival is coming up, right? Is the crew joining the Shohua parade?
Those are our props. Our final scene is set at the Shohua parade. I already spoke with the organizers in Chinatown. They've allowed us to shoot during it.
Really? The last CO7 movie ended with a show parade too.
Noir's eyes light up. She smiles.
Good memory. Looks like you meant it when you said you were a big fan.
The restaurant owner serves their meal, pausing their script discussion for the time being. Noir and her assistant pick up their chopsticks, but Loggerhead remains still.
So, did you find anything? You said that your beastie friend could detect things tainted with evil, right? So, did it sense anything wrong with the director?
While Loggerhead speaks in a hushed tone, the conspicuousness of her head move makes talking with her in secret a near impossible task. Feeling Noir and Lynn's subtle glances, Liang squirms in her seat.
No, but that doesn't mean... Yes! I told you she'd never do that! Hey! She can hear you, you know?
The situation is already beyond repair.
I'd never do what?
For a brief moment, Liang feels a splitting headache. She shoots a mildly accusatory glance at Loggerhead, causing her to visibly shrink.
Sorry, I don't like skirting around things. Can't we just ask her straight up?
Not really. If every criminal just confessed to their crimes, the vigils wouldn't exist.
No clumsy cover-up would fool the director now. There is nothing for it to be upfront. Perhaps this is for the best anyway.
Actually, I didn't just come here to apologize. There's something I want to ask you about.
What is it?
A perfectly measured balance of curiosity and confusion, yet no real surprise. A renowned director having a knack for acting isn't exactly shocking. In fact, it's about as surprising as an amateur failing miserably to do the same thing.
It's about the strange things happening in Chinatown these days.
Wait, so all this was just to butter us up so you could investigate your case?
The assistant, who was all smiles moments ago, suddenly falls silent. Despite her careful preparation, the situation is difficult for Leon.
Sorry, madam, but it's my job. As I said, strange things have been happening in Chinatown. Things that bear a striking resemblance to the film incident that you were involved in 8 years ago, Miss Noah. The case document stated that the origin of these events is a film reel titled Reunion of the Three Swallows, a movie created by your friend, He Rijun. Miss Latham said you watched a film with her in her room a few days ago. Do you have any idea where that film reel is now?
That film reel?
Did you not know what it was?
I had no idea.
Noir's expression darkens. Clearly, she's realized why Liang has brought up that film reel.
That film we watched together. Well, to put it mildly, it had nothing of interest. It didn't seem to have any semblance of a story, even. It couldn't have been one of Teresa's.
Liang recalls that the archive on Reunion of the Three Swallows cited Teresa as the English name of its creator, He Rijun. Noir and He Rijun had been friends since their days studying abroad, and it seems Noir still uses that name even now. Rumors, investigation reports, and speculations flicker through Liang's mind, but seeing the somber look on the woman before her, she decides to set them aside for now.
Maybe the original content has been contaminated. According to the Foundation's records, the film reel has two abilities: play and record. The play ability allows it to conjure its contents into reality in a form similar to a movie image, which accounts for the hallucinations and phantoms the victims mentioned. The record ability captures the souls of those in the same effective range as play, and the victims lose a part of themselves, like their sanity or their memories. The case document doesn't mention anything about contamination, but my guess is that the souls recorded by the film have polluted the original content of the film.
Shame on them. Whoever's behind this.
Noir mutters a curse, and both she and Liang fall into silence. Meanwhile, Lin and Loggerhead look utterly lost.
Wait. What are you talking about? Can you explain it to me simply, please?
Miss Noah didn't know that that film was a reunion of the Three Swallows. So naturally, she didn't take it. I think she's telling the truth.
Really? That's great news!
No one responds. Loggerhead looks around and lowers the arm she raised in premature celebration.
Oh, right. The film's still missing, so it's not great news. But at least Noir wasn't up to something when she made friends with me, right? That's definitely good news for me.
She turns to Noir.
That means we're still friends. And friends help each other. Liang said that the film reel could cause some problems for you. Let me help you find it. I'll catch that thief and take the film back to the ACD. Then you'll be safe. I'll clear my name, and the problems in Chinatown will be solved. That's 3 birds with 1 stone. Genius, right?
You know, Miss Latham, this is what I like about you. You always speak your mind.
Her eyes squint a little as she curves her mouth to an unexpectedly gentle smile.
Our relationships are so complex, aren't they? That's what makes them so intriguing, captivating, really. A constant source of inspiration. But sometimes I feel that life is better kept simple. Wouldn't you agree, Miss Vigil?
Agreed.
There are certainly simple ways to say I'm suspicious of you, and I have no intention of cooperating.
May I ask you another question?
Please.
The rumors about CO7, which ones are true?
I don't think a few old stories will help you solve the case.
It's not only for the case, but for my own curiosity. I wasn't lying when I said I was familiar with your works. I really like them, and this question matters a lot to me as a fan.
I see.
Noir ponders for a moment.
In that case, I really don't think you should know the truth for your own good. I appreciate your love for my works, but it's not a good idea to dig too deep into what went on behind the scenes. Just enjoy the stories for what they are. Otherwise, the magic will be ruined.
She gives a slight shake of her head, but a flicker of contemplation passes through her downcast eyes.
Well, I can tell you one thing that might interest you, though.
Oh? Alright, another break. Just this break. to reverse 1999 Showdown in Chinatown onto Chapter 12. The story so far involves a young Chinese detective with special anti-evil, anti-spirit abilities through a Chinese spirit beast that she can summon. She's investigating spirit-related activities in Chinatown with a local cop specializing in arcanum crimes and arcanum problems. Everything is tied loosely to a director who's filming in the area and the events that happened 8 years ago during a previous film. They've also involved some mysterious film which was originally held in keeping by the Foundation, and that was taken out, seemingly connected with a projector named Loggerhead or Latham. But she seems mostly innocent because she's kind of silly and incompetent at handling anything serious, though she is very much suspected of being the one to take it out. A lot of mysteries are still open, with the director under suspicion, and Latham, and this young Constance Scott who worked alongside Latham. And there's also a mysterious Night Piercer character and a former actor of Noirs, the director, who are also loosely involved, and we don't know what's going on with them yet. Mousetrap, Chapter 12. Night has deepened, and the little restaurant on the corner outside of Chinatown is almost empty. The doorbell chimes and two people walk in.
Scott and Saul Officer, over here.
Again, it's Poitier. Have you seriously already forgotten my name? It's only been 3 hours.
Poitier. At Loggerhead's call, the two newcomers take a seat at her and Liang's table.
What's your status?
Couldn't find anything useful. Sorry. I already asked the investigators who came with me to track down the other missing items. You know, to cover up for Loggerhead. But so far, they haven't found anything. As for the person who stole the item, I haven't a clue.
Well, at least there haven't been any reports of arcane explosions or earthquakes. No news is good news, right?
What about you? Any leads?
Miss Noah didn't take the film, but she refused to tell us anything about its curse or the former owner, He Rijun.
She lets out a deliberately dejected sigh, withholding the final message Mar gave her.
Looks like I'm the only one who has good news.
You do? What about?
Sale? Poitier tilts her head, gesturing back past Scott to the darkened street outside the window.
The illegal trade of arcane items. You told me to keep an eye on it. I contacted my guy who tracks all that stuff. Told me about this trader called Pug Dog, a middleman in the black market. He was pulled over for speeding this morning, but he actually paid the ticket right away. Can you believe that? I wouldn't be surprised if he shot the police car and ran away there.
An outlaw suddenly behaving himself. He must be up to something important. Something big enough to make him avoid getting into trouble over a speeding ticket.
The officers thought the same, so they tracked him to this stolen car, right? Well, guess where it's headed? Here. Chinatown.
Okay. Stolen car. Oh, that's Pug Dog? Oh man. A man with a deep, jagged scar across his bow saunters under the moonlight. At last, he stops, slipping into a darkened alleyway. He has no idea that 4 silent pursuers are lurking nearby, hidden under a rookie vigil's silent shadow arcane skill.
What's he doing?
You brought along Loggerhead?
Waiting for someone's my guess.
A middleman for the arcane black market. So he probably has the cursed film, and now he's planning to sell it to someone. We should get him now, before the film's sold off. Come on, this is our chance.
Nope. Liang clamps a hand over her mouth just in time, muffling her outbursts.
Shh. Someone's coming.
From the depths of the shadows, a figure emerges. Not walking toward Pug Dog, but riding something. Perhaps a wheelchair.
Good evening, sir. I hope I didn't keep you too long.
You got the dough?
Of course.
Nora pulls a rectangular object from her coat.
It's an envelope. Looks pretty thick.
Cordia is right. Pug Dog takes the envelope and puts a handful of bills from it before nodding in satisfaction.
All here. Don't you worry, alright? You can trust me. Everyone in LA knows Pug Dog.
He stuffs the bulging envelope into his pocket before pulling an item from his jacket.
Here's your stuff.
The item cuts an arc through the darkness, landing precisely in Nora's waiting hands.
Ha! I like customers like you. Generous and to the point. Alright, I'm out of here. Pleasure doing business with you. And hey, feel free to call me again.
He scans the area before turning back to Noir, lowering his voice.
Seeing as you're a good customer of mine, here's a bit of advice. Watch your back on the way out of here.
What do you mean?
But Noir doesn't get the chance to press further. The moment has come. Liang strides out from the shadows.
Sorry to interrupt, but neither one of you will be making your own way home. Miss Noah, Pug Dog, I'm afraid you'll be coming to the Arcane Affairs office with me.
Cop!
Stay behind me. I'll keep us safe.
Oh, that's Pug Dog.
Please stay behind me, Xiangnu. Please be careful. My responsibility.
Ow! Get up and stay down!
Pug Dog's attempt to fight back have been utterly useless.
Miss Noah, could you show me what he gave you?
Go ahead.
She hands a dusty gray box to Liang. Inside is an ordinary-looking film reel, but Liang can feel the vessel containing Kuang Lang growing warmth against her skin.
Super 8mm. This must be it. The culprit behind the strange happenings in Chinatown.
Yet for now, it lies quietly within her grasp, docile and unthreatening.
Well, that was easier than expected. Half a day and we've already tracked it down. Now all we gotta do is stop it from doing its arcanum-y thing. But how? Smash it?
No. Before Liang can respond, Noir voices a polite opposition.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I have to admit, Miss Noah's right. Arcane items need to be handled with the utmost care. No one knows what will happen once it's broken. We could make things worse.
Fine. Let's take these two back to the office first. On your feet, tough guy. We gotta go.
Ugh. Damn it! How'd you find me? Some asshole sell me out?
Pug Dog is yanked up from the ground. He reluctantly follows Poitier, grumbling and cursing under his breath. But as he passes Liang, he stops.
Wait.
Not at her, precisely, but at the figure cowering behind her.
It was you! You fucking traitor! I should have known you were working with the cops!
Loggerhead tilts her head in confusion.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Wait, let me explain. This is just a misunderstanding.
Don't worry, Miss Scott. You're right. There has been a misunderstanding between you and him. Allow me to explain.
Scott heaves a sigh of relief, only for Liang's next words to hit her like a thunderclap.
You never had the intention of betraying him, nor were you working with us. You simply gave him the item you wanted to sell. That's it.
Alright, we are gonna stop it here. Let's do some stream.
People are always dealing with journalists is not my fault.
Exit. Kinda.
The storm, a word simply taken from visual observation, has been used to refer to the calamity. Of course, we can have a word for the calamity itself. What words should we use to conclude all the absurdity and panic? Before the storm, we were all familiar with time. It was supposed to be a straight line connecting the past and the future. We followed the line to move forward. We broke free from ignorance. We built civilizations. We developed technologies. We promoted the well-being of mankind. And we improved our living conditions step by step. We were so sure that we were making progress.
See.
Learned it completely randomly, by the way. Okay, actually straight. Oh, I did good. A lot of exercise today, so I'm done. None of that is this guy. Alright, watch it, watch it, watch it. Wait, this one's gonna go after me, right? Stupidest tech that never worked. Wow. Is that a really big hitbox? Oh, no, no.
Playing this casually. Alright, we're actually raiding Saint Cisco. The other ones I found were not open to raids or had other problems. And Sane is doing a classic, another Sonic stream as a Mobian MILF outfit, which is adorable. Very cool.